It's an episode of Otome, Oclock. I am Ashlee A. Button, and I am joined tonight by...
Megahan.
And for your viewing pleasure tonight, we're going to be playing...
The second part of the Twin Coves extended demo.
Which is... Oh, yeah, Twin Coves. I was like, which is... Well, Ashlee just said the game. It's Twin Coves. I knew that.
Also, before we start, there is
Yes.
something I would like to bring up.
Okay.
So currently on Steam, it started yesterday and it goes till the 26th of May, is the Otome Games celebration. It's basically a bunch of Otome games, demos that are all on sale right now. I'm not sure if you can see it from the Steam homepage, but we will have it shared on the Blue Sky later, because it's not loading right now. I don't know why the internet doesn't like me.
Did you give me the link on Discord?
I did not, but I will.
And we can just throw up a picture. Hopefully, in theory.
Hopefully in theory. On Discord. Come to me. So, don't see it on Steam's front page.
Yeah, it's weird. The link that Megan has that's supposed to direct you to the event is not on Steam's page. Does not go there. Let me see if I pull Otome collection.
Otome Games celebration. That's weird. I was just looking posts. I was looking at posts on Tumblr about it today. Well, they were linking to the Steam. Steam, what are we doing?
This is the straight up website that's not functioning properly.
Steam is being a bit of a doo-doo face right now. So we'll have the link on Blue Sky for when it decides to work.
Yeah, seriously.
Really knocking it out of the park.
It's supposed to be the first ever Otome themed game Steam festival.
Really doing great here, Steam. But it does also have a definition of Otome. Otome is a term used to describe romance-driven games where the player can play as a woman and pursue romantic relationships with a focus on men as love interests. So for stuff like that, people have been using a mare, which is... I forget if it's...
Amare? Or is it A-M-A-R-E?
A-M-A-R-E, I believe, is it. That's for more when it's... Let me just double check.
Now, the festival just started today, correct?
Started yesterday.
And when is it supposed to end?
26th of May.
Alright, name me a game on there. Let's see if it'll have a link on the game page.
The Good People. Which is a game in Gaelic. Oh. Steam is just being a goober.
Oh. Well, let me look up Down Detector, because it might be that Steam's down.
So many people are excited to play these Otome games that Steam has gone down.
Steam outages reported in the last 24 hours. Oh, look at that. As soon as we want to try and talk about something, Steam has crashed.
Yeah, and I will also, on Blue Sky later, provide links to, specifically games that we have played on Otome Oclock that are available through this.
One day the link will work. Today is not that day.
Of course.
I'm going to try for the 80th time. just to beat my head against a wall. Okay, well, we got Steam to load. Y'all just gonna have to take our word for this. Links will be up. I'll put a link to the page, and the eventual edit of this episode that's gonna go up on YouTube in a week.
Yes. Oh, and another announcement so we are going to be playing Date Everything once it comes out.
Fuck yeah.
I will find a very quick game to play for us. So our next meetup, our next stream would be June 3rd. And then Date Everything comes out on the 17th. We are not going to be streaming on the 17th because I won't be in town. But the 24th, we will stream Date Everything. 24th of June.
Now, are we going to stream the whole game?
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, we're going to date a kitchen sink. Yeah.
You can date your bathroom sink. You can date your bathroom toilet.
Can you date the china cabinet?
Yes, you could. I don't know if you can date the walls and the floors.
That's a lot. That's a lot to be dating the walls and the floors. At that point, might as well just be dating the whole house.
You can date all 17 house doors in the house.
Would the house be like a polycule at that point?
I don't know. You can date your trash can.
It's like, my partner's literally trash.
You can date your laundry detergent. I believe okay, so your washer and dryer, I believe, are in a polyamorous relationship.
The washer and dryer is?
Yes. Your clothes hamper and your dirty clothes are also in a relationship, but it's not as good. Like, it's kind of like really bad for each other.
Oh, they're toxic?
They're pretty toxic. I believe the wall's name is Wallace.
Wow.
Oh, I mean the door's name is Dorian.
That is amazing.
Your kitchen cabinets are Cabricio.
You know what? I would love if Date Everything
It's
had a
just
cameo
puns.
of the wainscoting from Save the Villainous.
It does have Sungwon Cho in it.
What's Sungwon Cho from?
Pro ZD.
Aha! Yeah!
I believe he is your...
I love Pro ZD.
Oh, I think he's...
I'm sorry I only know you by your YouTube handle, bro. You're awesome.
I mean, he's also in...
He's in a lot of shit that I just
Yeah.
never realized because I didn't know what his... Like, I don't know the names of voice actors. The only names I know are, like... I've only been more conscious because
Ashlee?
of Critical Role.
Ashlee.
Megahan.
Brendan Lee Mulligan is in Date Everything.
Oh my god, we gotta... What's Brendan? Is he a pigeon?
I believe he's your board games.
I am not surprised.
And he's a rules lawyer.
I am not surprised.
You'll never guess who's
There are
else.
so many YouTubers in this game.
Oh, yeah. Matthew Mercer's in it as a D20.
Oh, that's hilarious. Is Jim Sterling still in it? Stephanie Sterling, my bad.
Oh,
Sometimes Stephanie goes by her old handle, Jim Sterling, just for like brand recognition. But I believe she finally transitioned over completely to Stephanie Sterling.
No, I don't remember off the top of my head. I just remember you can date your dishwasher.
I remember Steph, like talking about this game a lot. That's how I learned about it. Is Stephanie Sterling just been like, I'm in a game.
You know what's
Thank God for me.
You know what's so hilarious? Alejandro Saab, who is a VTuber and his VTuber name is Sayu. He's been in so much shit. He had a stream like last year where he was talking about Date Everything, and one of his friends is one of the creators of the game. And he was asking them about something, and it's real funny because like a couple weeks ago they came out that Alejandro Saab is in the game. Nice. He's your sporting equipment. His name is Dunk.
That's hilarious. You know what? I didn't realize. I forgot that Commander Stephanie Sterling, I need to put respect on her name. She was a writer on fucking Vampire Survivors. And I love Vampire Survivors. That's that stupid like game where you're just it's 2D and you just like move around the screen and mobs of stuff attacks you and the waves just keep increasing in intensity and you get weapons and then you hopefully don't have epilepsy because that'd be a real problem in later stages of the game because
like
that's
the ending
a
of
mad
the Speed Racer
crush
movie
of bodies. You've never seen me play Vampire Survivors? I have
No.
dunked an unfortunate amount of time in that simplistic seeming game. And it is ridiculous. I can't suggest Vampire Survivors enough. A 2D side scroller where you just walk around.
They are in Date Everything. I don't know who they are in Date Everything. Oh, Finn Wolfhard is in the game.
Sandbox dating sim. They wrote it. They wrote in Date Everything. I'm not sure. Barry Styles? Is
Barry Styles is Finn Wolfhard.
Okay. I just saw the image on Sterling's Instagram.
Yeah. No, I'm there too. Well, I'm on the... Oh, excuse me. Nick Wolfhard, who... Either way.
Yeah, I think that they're just a writer on there. I thought for some reason that...
That game is so goofy.
What? Date Everything?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be so silly.
It is. It's going to be silly. There's so many characters I'm excited for.
You know what we should be really excited for?
Twin Coves.
Yeah, this game that we're supposed to be playing right now. How would you describe Twin Coves? I would describe it as like Hot Boys, but what if Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks, big inspiration. There's a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer sprinkled in there.
Unfortunate closeness to Twilight only because it's in the Pacific Northwest and have supernatural creatures involved. I like to think that's where it ends.
I mean, if you really wanted to bring up Twilight, I guess.
We don't have to. We can pretend that didn't happen.
It's
unfortunate because it's like an Oregon-ish.
No, it's
Oregonian-ish.
No, they're in. No, I did double check. It is in Washington State.
Oh, okay, all right. Fern Country.
Yeah, yeah, it's in Washington State on the coast of Washington. I did end up playing, a bit of the demo myself, but I chose differently at a certain point, and I did manage to kill a MC.
Oh, good job. You managed to kill the MC in the demo?
I did it.
Is that the same area we stopped last time?
Yeah.
You just yeeted yourself off the fucking cliff?
No, I went to the lighthouse, and I ended up dying.
Good job. Alright. Where the hell are we?
Tuesday, May 6th.
Alright, so are you still doing...
Okay, so you did everybody else last time.
Yeah.
This time I'll do everybody else and you do MC.
Okay.
Oh, and Ashlee, we were right. I thought it was going to be for Gideon's hat. I thought it was more like a sea captain hat. But I posted an image of one of those like fisherman's hat with the lures in it.
Yeah.
On the Twin Coves Discord. And Wisteria Games was like, no, yeah, that's the vibe.
We were right the whole time.
We were right the whole time.
That's beautiful. We're here to serve.
Oh, I'm so excited to see more characters. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Strong hands close around my shoulders, and an instant before I topple into the abyss, yanking me back onto solid ground with bruising force. I collapse onto my hands and knees, gasping for breath as my heart threatens to slam through my ribcage. That was close. Too close. My palms sting where they scraped across the jagged rocks, irritating my already skinned hands. The contents of my stomach threatened to make a reappearance, and I'm thankful I had little more than a coffee and a few bites of waffle. I was seconds away from plummeting onto the rocks below. If not for... Well, hello, handsome. I look up, blinking against the sunlight. A man looms over me, brow creased in concern beneath a shock of unruly red hair.
Are you all right, my lord?
My rescuer extends a hand to help me up.
Do you want to take the handsome man's hand?
I mean, like, yeah. I hesitate, but ultimately take his proffered hand. His tight grip momentarily making my palm sting, but he sets me on my feet and steps away. Oh, fucking gentleman.
A very handsome gentleman.
He smiles, though it doesn't quite reach his eyes. They remain vigilant, scanning the cliff's edge and the forest behind us. My man's got a whole ass sword.
Yeah, he's wearing a gambeson.
He is wearing a gambeson. Thank you for reminding me of the word. Now that the shock is fading, I take in the man's odd attire. Some kind of padded jacket that reminds me of a medieval doublet. Or is it a doublet? Is it a doublet?
No, that's a gambeson.
Okay, shit, my bad. My gaze...
gambeson.
Oh, Black Betty.
Gambeson. Oh, Jesus Christ, got me going. My gaze catches on the tips of his ears, peeking through the wild red hair, slightly pointed. And that's when I notice the sword strapped to his side. A cold tendril of unease slithers down my spine. He's Fae. I'm sure of it. But what's he doing out here? And a moment ago, I wasn't alone. My eyes dart wildly from the tree line, but there's no sign of the massive creature. The wolf, where did it go? His jaw tightens, hand drifting toward the sword belt at his waist. My unease deepens.
So you noticed him as well.
I take a reflexive step back. His green eyes snap to mine, widening slightly.
My apologies. I did not mean to startle you.
He sketches a courtly bow.
Forgive my lack of manners. I am Ren, and you are?
Morgan. I reply automatically. My thoughts race. A Fae warrior armed in the middle of the woods? A werewolf hiding among the trees? Not 5 yards from where a woman lost her life this morning? Ren's gaze turns back to the woods, lingering there.
Well met, Morgan.
Are you working for someone? Did he send you? The question rushes from my lips, accusing and bitter. I watch his face, studying his every expression, its every subtle moment. He only looks genuinely confused. Somehow that's comforting.
Who is this he you speak of?
Well, thankfully, Ren doesn't know how to play the pronoun game. Before I can continue my interrogation, he raises a hand.
I am afraid these woods are not safe at present. Please, allow me to escort you from this place.
He gestures towards the path leading back down from the cliff top, face creased in concern, but his eyes remain vigilant, constantly scanning our surroundings. That's okay. I can make it back on my own. I start to head back down the trail, walking backwards toward Ivy House in my car. I don't want to take my eyes off him until I'm a good distance away. I don't need an escort. He opens his mouth to speak, but I don't stick around to hear whatever he has to say next. I turn tail and run. Nothing good ever comes of being around Fae. I should know that better than anyone.
My sweet, sweet boy, Ren.
I emerge from the woods and hurry across a gravel drive to where my car is parked, my hands trembling slightly as I fumble to unlock the door and slide inside. I quickly engage the locks. My heart is still racing from the close call on the cliff, and I slump back against the seat and close my eyes, taking a deep breath to calm my rattled nerves. That's when I realize I'm still clutching the keyring I found in the leaves. I open my palm and stare down at the 3 keys, the metal still warm from my tight grip. There's also a small flashlight attached, and well, is what looks to be a pocket-sized can of pepper spray. I should turn them into the sheriff's department. I consider it for a moment as I turn the keyring over in my hand, but something in my gut tells me to hold on to them, at least for now. Wyatt said they were covering up the true nature of the murder, and it's an open secret that the sheriff's department is useless, unless they're called by the wealthier citizens who have taken up residence in the east side of the peninsula. And these keys are my only tangible clue. Tucking the keys in my jacket pocket, I turn the ignition and pull out of the long, tree-lined drive and back onto the main road leading away from Ivy House. As I drive, my thoughts keep drifting back towards the scene at the cliff. The gouges in the soil, the bloody scrap of fabric, the sheer drop looming just inches away as I teeter on the crumbling edge. If not for the Fae grabbing me, I'd likely be dead right now.
He has a name. Be nice.
A chill runs through me at the memory of the Fae warrior materializing just in time, as if from thin air. What was he doing out there in the first place? With a sword, no less. My hands tighten on the steering wheel. Gideon's death, and now a maid's. A Fae warrior in the woods, a werewolf watching from the trees. And that tattoo. As much as I hate to admit it, there's only one person who might be able to provide me with some answers. The Fae who gave me my own rose tattoo. And by my account, he's long overdue in giving them. I grip the wheel tighter as I steer the car around a tight bend. What other choice do I have? It seems I'll have to swallow my pride and do the last thing I ever thought I'd do. Ring up an Azrael and ask him what the hell is going on in Twin Coves. Fuck. Chapter 2. Fucking magic.
I'm so excited. Oh my. A phone booth. Holy shit.
I drive for a bit, but not towards home. I spot the town's only phone booth and pull up alongside it. Might be best to make this call far away from home.
Just as a reminder, this game takes place in 1997.
Inside the phone booth, I fish in my pockets for some change and slip a few quarters into the slot. The number on the business card is seared into my memory, but I pull the card out anyway and hold it between my thumb and forefinger. I have no idea how this magic works. I punch it in and wait, heart hammering, as the line rings once, twice. Did he use like 1-800-COLLECT?
No, we have his number.
Oh, okay. No, but 1-800-COLLECT, so you don't have to pay for it.
No, Yes.
The voice on the other end is smooth, cultured, and unmistakable. Azrael? I try to keep my tone even, but I can't quite keep the edge out of my voice. It's Morgan. Cooper? There's a pause, then a low chuckle.
Well, hello, kitten. To what do I owe the pleasure of your call?
I take in a deep breath, ignoring that nickname he bestowed on Pete just to irk me. I steel myself for what I have to say next. We need to talk.
My, sounds serious.
It is.
Business or pleasure?
There's a throaty laugh from the speaker, and I feel my blood pressure spiking. It takes all my self-control to force the word through my clenched teeth. Business.
You know I don't talk business over the phone, kitten.
Well, you better start, because you promised I'd be safe, and I just was at the scene of a murder less than an hour ago. And the victim had one of your tattoos. Again. There is a silence on the other end of the line, long enough that I begin to think he hung up on me. Then he speaks, voice low.
Where are you?
Oh, shit's getting serious. Now he's not playing games anymore. Currently, on the side of the road.
A payphone, O ye of little faith.
He sounds like he's holding back a laugh, like my caution is amusing.
Meet me at the Green Knight.
Oh, nice. When?
5 minutes enough time?
What? Now?
Unless you have a more pressing engagement.
I nearly dropped the phone. So you really are in Twin Coves?
Indeed I am.
I can practically hear his smirk through the line. There had still been a small part of me that had doubted he was really here.
Don't keep me waiting, Morgan. You know how I hate to be kept waiting.
Now, for those of you who may not be aware, because I don't assume, I appreciate the reference to the Green Knight because it's a reference to an Arthurian legend, Gawain and the Green Knight, which is kind of cool. There was also recently, was it a Guy Ritchie? Or no, was it A23 film?
Yes, I know it existed. Don't ask me who
Came
made
out a couple years ago. The line goes dead before I can respond. I stare at the receiver in my hand for a long moment before slowly replacing it in the cradle. Azrael is here. If that's not an indictment, I don't know what it is. He was involved somehow back in the city, and he's clearly involved here, no matter his protestations of innocence before. I was a fool to trust him then. I can't be one now. I lean my forehead against the cool metal of the phone booth, trying to collect my racing thoughts. But one thing is clear. If I want answers about what really is going on in this town, I don't have a choice. I have to meet him in 5 minutes. Taking a deep breath, I step out of the phone booth and head back to my car. As I slide behind the wheel, I can't shake the feeling that I'm driving towards something I'm not quite ready to face. As I push open the heavy door to the Green Knight, I expect to find Azrael waiting, but the place is empty. I shouldn't be surprised. It's only a bit past 10 a.m. According to the clock over the bar, the lights are on, so someone must be here. I take a few steps inside, my boots scuffing against the worn floorboards. Hello? Azrael? Silence answers me. Unease prickles along my spine. This doesn't feel right. I try to the pub's owner's name. I've only met him a few times, but they're a friend of Gideon's. Ryer? I make my way farther inside, past the empty tables and booths. The jukebox in the corner is dark and silent. As I approach the bar, I spot a staircase at the back of the pub. The unmistakable thump of music reverberates from that direction. It's muffled, but the deep bass pounds a steady rhythm. Slowly, cautiously, I head toward the stairs. The music grows louder, vibrating through the soles of my boots. I pause, listening. It's not a song I recognize, something heavy and hypnotic. At the top of the stairs is a heavy metal door. Taking a deep breath, I begin to climb. It must lead to an office above the bar. The music pulses down the narrow spiral stairwell, beckoning me upward. I clench my fists at my side, the other holding onto the railing as I steel my nerves. One step, then another. The music wraps around me, reverberating in my chest. The thumping music is almost too loud to even think. I raise my fist, hesitating. There's no way Azrael will be able to hear me knock over the deafening beat, if it's even him inside. Nothing. Hello? That's when my eyes catch on a small handwritten sign posted just to the right of the door, taped above a light switch. Flip the lights 3 times to knock. Thanks, L. Steeling myself, I reach out and flip the light switch up and down rapidly 3 times. The music continues to thump relentlessly. After a few tense moments, nothing happens. Perhaps I shouldn't be here? Well, I tried. I turn and start heading back down the stairwell, the pulsing music growing quieter with each step. What the hell was that all about? Just as I'm about to leave the stairs, the music suddenly cuts off, the silence ringing in my ears. I pause, glancing back up. The door at the top of the stairs swings open, and a tall, wet figure steps out. Wait! I look up to see a man standing there, towel wrapped loosely around his waist. His turquoise hair is dripping, water running down the sculptured planes of his bare chest. Aquatic Fabio over here. You good?
Give me a second.
I blink. Oh no, he's hot. That's the line. Morgan's a hoe. Oh no, he's hot.
Small fun fact. So I don't know if he's gonna get tattoos later, but in the old art he used to have tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
But Wisteria Games is like, Azrael has so many tattoos. I cannot have 2 characters with tattoos. Azrael has taken all the tattoos for the other characters.
Yeah, but what if we gave this guy a tramp stamp? He looks like he'd have a tramp stamp.
That's too bad. Listen, I don't know.
Even like a mermaid on his butt cheek? Or a buoy. Give him
Okay.
a buoy on his butt cheek.
Wisteria
Games, give him a buoy on the butt cheek.
Okay, but like, Azrael is tattooed from his neck to his ankles. And there are 18 plus scenes eventually, so you will see all of those tattoos.
My.
And Wisteria Games is one person.
Oh my.
They can't have so many sprites with, like...
Oh, I forgot. This fan is green, so it's green screened out, so now I'm invisible. Oh my.
But yeah.
That was why we shouldn't have gotten the green.
That's fine. I like the green.
Yeah, Azrael took everybody else's tattoos, so now Azrael is the keeper of all the tattoos in the Twin Coves game. But yes. Continue, Ashlee.
Can we give him a lighthouse above his happy trail?
He has piercings. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of all the fun ways you can incorporate a tattoo. I tear my gaze away from the man's dripping form, forcing myself to look anywhere but his glistening chest. Instead, I focus on the narrow stairwell and the wrought iron steps beneath my feet as I return to the bar.
I'll be right down.
He disappeared back into the room. I take a seat at one of the bar stools, drumming my fingers on the table, tapping out a nervous rhythm. I shouldn't be here. This is a mistake. That man was naked. But I need the answers, and Azrael is the only one who can give them to me. A few minutes later, the man appears behind the bar, now fully dressed in a blue button-down shirt and dark jeans. Though I notice he isn't wearing any shoes. His turquoise hair is still damp, curling slightly at the ends. He gives me a small smile as he approaches.
Thanks for waiting. I'm Lear.
Lear. The name sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Morgan.
I know. Gideon told me all about you.
I'm not sure how to feel about that, and he seems to register my discomfort.
He'd come in for a whiskey every so often. We would get to talking.
So you work here?
Bartender. I also live upstairs.
Ah. I glance away, feeling guilty for interrupting his shower, and he is certainly not Azrael. Sorry for bothering you. You could have just told me to scram. Lear waves a hand dismissively.
No worries. I was using up too much hot water anyway.
An awkward silence falls between us. Lear clears his throat.
So, what brings you by? We don't usually get customers this early.
I hesitate. I'm not sure I should mention Azrael. I'm just meeting someone. Lear's expression shifts almost imperceptibly. Disappointment? It's gone so quickly I can't be sure.
I see. Well, can I get you something while you wait? Something to drink?
I glance at the clock on the wall. It's 10:13 a.m. It's a bit early for that.
Hair of the dog.
Then he laughs.
I meant water. Or we have coffee?
A water would be great, thanks. Lear nods and turns to grab a glass. As he fills it from the tap, he glances back at me a few times. I feel my cheeks heat, and I pointedly look around the bar and its kitschy decor. A moment later, he slides a glass of water across the bar to me. I take a long drink. The cool water soothes my parched throat. I wish Azrael would get here soon. I want to get this over with. I glance back up at the stairs leading to what must be Lear's apartment above the bar. That light switch thing? Lear follows my gaze.
Oh, yeah.
He motions to his ears.
I'm deaf. I can hear a little, but I won't be able to hear if someone knocks.
He nods his head towards the stairs again.
Hence the light switch thing. It lets me know someone is there.
A wry smile tugs at Lear's lips.
And it's better than having people pound on the door for ages before I notice.
And the music?
Oh, I just like it loud.
Well, he is deaf. Lear laughs.
Even though I can't really make out the notes or the words, I can still feel the vibration of the bass. Bass?
Bass. The bath? The fish.
always-
I can feel the vibration of the fish. I don't know why it's spelled that way, but it's bass.
Because that's how you spell bass.
He taps his chest over his heart.
Lets me connect to the music even without hearing most of it.
I lean forward, resting my elbows on the bar. How could you understand me if you can't hear? Lear's arc eyes meet mine, a hint of amusement in them. Then his gaze falls to my mouth.
I read lips.
His words hang in the air between us, and I feel my cheeks heat once again. The thought of him staring at my lips, watching their every movement, sends an unexpected shiver down my spine.
Lear is laying it on. I wouldn't say thickly.
Like a medium
Like a medium. Medium viscosity.
medium viscosity. I guess it's been a while since I've the thought of even casual flirtation. Hell, I can't even remember the last date I went on. I take another sip of water, trying to ignore the warmth in my face. Lear watches me, his gaze unreadable. After a moment, he changes the subject.
So you're meeting someone here?
His tone is casual, but there's something in his eyes, a hint of curiosity that makes me wonder if he knows more than he's letting on. Yeah, just an old friend. Lear's eyebrows raise slightly at my hesitation, but he says nothing and moves on to organizing some glasses. Nevertheless, I can't help but feel a pang of unease. Is this a trap, or is Azrael pranking me? I glance around the bar, trying to distract myself from growing anxiety. The place is still empty, save for the leer in me, and it's strange being in a pub without the usual noise and chatter of other patrons. I take another sip of my drink, glancing at the clock again. 10:17 a.m. Still no sign of Azrael. I tap my fingers nervously at the bar on the bar top. Lear seems to sense my unease and slides me a refill, then hooks a thumb over her shoulder.
I have some work to do in the back unless you'd like me to wait with you.
No, thanks. I'll give it a few more minutes, then head out. Lear gives me a small smile, then heads over to the room behind the bar, leaving me alone with my nerves and unanswered questions. Has it been longer than 5 minutes?
I believe so.
That little shit.
Actually, well, yeah, because we had to drive here. Miss me?
I nearly knock over my glass of water as I whip around. Motherfucker. Azrael is leaning against the wall across the bar by the exit, arms crossed over his chest. He lets out a low chuckle, then pushes off the wall and approaches, perching himself on the stool beside me. Pale red eyes glint behind his sunglasses. I didn't even hear him enter. Megan's fucking ooh-ooing.
Okay. I can't remember if I told this story, at least on stream. So, when Twin Coves was first doing its Kickstarter, someone in the Discord I was in shared a picture of Azrael, and I was like, yes, a vampire. And they were like, no, he's Fae. And the speed at which I threw myself at Kickstarter and just tossed as much money as I could into the Kickstarter for this game.
Just because of Azrael being Fae.
Just because of that's it. He's my number one. He's my baby girl.
He's your endgame.
Yes. He is my number one. I love him so much. God, I don't even know if the Kickstarter was over yet, and I made like a meme of him.
Nice. What was the meme?
Oh, do you remember that game show from the 70s? Like, you wouldn't have watched it, but you've probably heard of it. Let's Make a Deal.
Okay.
It was based on that. I don't know if I still have the image.
Is that the one with like the pictures in the square and it goes in a circle? Boop, 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 boop.
No, I think that's the other one.
Oh yeah, it was Press Your Luck. It had the weird cartoon characters on it. Oh, I never watched it or
That
even.
was door number one. You want door number one, door number two, and door number three. Let's make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll need to see if I can dig up that meme.
Oh God.
But I've posted several memes. I actually posted a meme the other day of Damien's face over Fitzwilliam Darcy's from Pride and Prejudice, from the rain scene. I don't know if you're not a Jane Austen person, and I'm not really either. But that scene's infamous where he's like confessing his love to Jane.
Wait, Pride and Prejudice rain scene.
Wait, no, actually, I'll just show you the meme.
Oh, fancy man in fancy old British clothes, wet and confessing his love. I love you most ardently.
That did numbers on the Discord.
Nice.
Okay, back to game.
You could warn a person. Just saying. Mouse, where are you? There you are. Azrael's thin lips quirk up in a hint of a smile.
My apologies. I assumed you were expecting me.
I glance back towards Lear, but he's still in the back room. Azrael follows my gaze and turns back to me.
What did you want to discuss?
I shift my body to face him fully, leaning in to keep my voice low. There was a dead woman found this morning. She had a rose tattoo on her wrist, just like the one on my shoulder. I reach across my body, rubbing at the spot on my shoulder through my layers of clothes. Osriel's eyes flick down briefly, then back up to meet mine. His expression remains impassive. I press in closer, my voice barely above a whisper, but I can feel the rage I'd been holding back creep up to the surface. My words are sharp as I hurl them at him. Just like the tattoo on the 3 other people who died 7 months ago. And you know what else? I have it on good authority. It looks like she was attacked by a werewolf. Asriel's eyes narrow.
Whose authority?
I don't reveal my sources. He snorts. No one believed Lee. No one believed that there was more to her sister's death, but she came to me, and I believed her. I still believe her. I wrote the article, after all, and I lost my job over that story. Then I nearly lost my life. Then Lee died, the same way her sister did. It takes every ounce of strength I have to speak the next words. Torn to shreds with their hearts ripped from their chests. And I know you're involved, somehow. Osriel is silent for a moment, regarding me closely. Then he glances back toward the bar. I follow his gaze to see Lear had returned, wiping down the counter with a rag. Osriel turns back to me, voice low.
Perhaps we should speak somewhere more private.
He stands to leave, but I stay seated, hesitating.
There's a booth over here.
Lear's dark eyes find mine and fix on me with concern.
Everything all right, Morgan?
Yep. Everything's peachy. Lear pauses, glancing between Osriel and I, and then gives a small nod.
Come back sometime soon, and I'll make you a drink on the house.
Osriel frowns in my periphery, but I ignore him. Deal. I turn back to Osriel. Lead the way. I follow as he leads us toward an empty booth in the back corner of the pub, but I feel Lear's eyes tracking us. Osriel slides into the booth, and I sit across from him. He folds his hands at the table, leaning forward intently.
He has the sharpest fucking eyebrows.
Ha!
You
They're angry.
They're so angry. Tell me everything you know about this woman and the circumstances of her death.
I hesitate, glancing over at Lear. He's watching us, his expression unreadable, but there's something in his eyes, a hint of concern that makes me pause.
Don't look at him, look at me.
Osriel looks more serious than I've ever seen him before. No slick smiles or sarcastic remarks. I don't know much. She was found dead this morning. Her name was Mary Bright. At least that was the name she was going by. Sheriff told Xander it was an accident, that she slipped and fell, but I followed the trail to where she was found and...
You followed the trail.
It's not a question, and Osriel doesn't look pleased. Yes, and it looked like there had been a struggle, claw marks, blood, and... Well, we need answers. We should probably tell him. Tell Oz about the keys. I found a key ring. I think it belonged to her.
May I see it?
I hold them out, but snatch it back when he goes to reach for it. He chuckles.
I won't take your clue from you, Morgan.
I place the keys back in my pocket. I lean forward, meeting Osriel's eyes with an accusatory glare. I thought maybe I'd gone crazy back then, that I made it all up in my head, but it's happening all over again, right here in Twin Coves. If I'm being honest with myself, I didn't believe Lee when she first came to me with a story about people going missing, most turning up dead weeks or even years later, all of them with a particular rose tattoo. I couldn't find any connection between most of the victims besides presumably visiting the same tattoo parlor. But Lee brought the story to me as she thought it would care that nobody else had. The police hadn't looked into it. No other journalist would take the story, probably because she had suggested the deaths were connected to the Fae. Lee gave me a list of people who disappeared or died, all of them with your rose tattoo. The cops didn't care about her list. They said her sister had been killed by a feral werewolf, but her sister's heart had been cut out of her chest. Odd that a werewolf who had gone feral would bother to remove a heart, and relatively cleanly too, don't you think? None of the other deaths had their heart removed, as far as Lee or I was able to find based on police records or newspaper articles we were able to dig up. It was a puzzle piece that didn't fit.
Then, one day, Lee told me about you. She gave me your card and said she found it in her sister's things. Then Lee... Azrael interrupts.
She was spouting fake conspiracy theories. Of course no one believed her.
Then Lee died too. And she was missing her heart when the cops found her body. And she has a fresh rose tattoo.
I swore to you I had nothing to do with any of their deaths.
Maybe not, but you did know them all. You made deals with them all.
You know I cannot disclose the nature of those deals, just as I can't yours.
How many deals have you made? He looks down at his arms, covered in by a thick black coat, but I've seen hints of what lies beneath. The same rose on my shoulder and on the murdered victim's bodies cover his arms.
I haven't counted in a while.
But why? Why did they come to you? Why did they need to make a deal with you? I've asked him these questions countless times. The first time I visited him was a few days after Lee gave me his card. Then again after Lee's funeral. Yet unlike the previous attempts, his answers, in a way.
Why did you?
Why did I? Fear? Desperation to save my life? Someone had tried to kill me after Lee's funeral when I continued to look into the deaths and disappearances. That would make anyone make foolish decisions, like make a deal with a Fae, of all people. How did they get your card? Can you tell me that? He shrugs.
The same way you did. It finds itself in the hands of those who need it.
You know something, and you won't tell me. It's infuriating.
2, now 3, if we count the Mary woman who made a deal with me died. I hate to be callous, but if they were desperate enough to come to me, they were in a great deal of trouble already. It might just have caught up to them.
At least 3. Azrael says nothing. A question escapes me, my voice small and hesitant. I fear that has been growing inside since I saw the maid's body being carried away. Will I be next? Azrael searches my face, looking conflicted.
I can't say. If I could tell you more, I would. I grow rather fond of your visits, you know, demanding answers, accusing me of murder. You always knew how to flatter me.
This is why husband shaved.
One might be led to think you like me.
I snort and look away, crossing my arms tightly over my chest. Like him? Him? His face falls back into a solemn expression.
I will say this. I saved your life, and I promise you'd be safe if you kept your head down and stopped digging. That remains true. Though judging by the crime-scene evidence in your pocket, you've been sticking your nose into matters you shouldn't.
It's my turn to shrug.
Morgan.
He sighs like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Look, I won't stop you. What I told you back in Seattle is still true. You have the tenacity to see this through. Very few would have been brave enough to show up at my door and accuse me of murder to my face.
That is pretty bold. In my defense, I had been desperate, and I had just come from Lee's funeral. I hadn't exactly been in the best state of mind. I'd also been furious.
Like I said, tenacious.
He smiles that wicked smile of his where he shows off his 2 sharp canines, all 4 of them.
You buried that spirit of yours for 7 months.
I almost died. He waves a hand.
I've almost died thousands of times, yet here I am. But I see you've begun to dig your way out.
The more pleased his expression grows, so too does my apprehension.
It seems I get...
He cuts himself off, looking away. For the briefest flicker, he looks almost anguished. He clears his throat, but my entire body had gone cold. It seems you owe Gideon... what?
Morgan.
No, Azrael. Did you know Gideon? What did you owe him? Maybe Kai really was right. Maybe Gideon's death wasn't a heart attack, a tragic, unfortunate accident. I couldn't continue to let myself think otherwise, because if it wasn't, I brought the danger back to Twin Coves, and Gideon paid the price. Everything around me goes quiet. A shrill ringing cuts through every thought, silencing them, all but one. It's all my fault.
Morgan. Morgan!
I look at Azrael, who has taken my hands in his. When did that happen?
You did not cause Gideon's death. I swear this to you.
How could you possibly know? The back door to the Green Knight slams open, startling both Azrael and me. Raised voices echo from the back hallway. Briar appears a moment later with a man towering over them close behind. Briar's eyes go wide when they spot Azrael and me sitting in one of the booths.
Shit!
The man behind Briar steps into the light. He cuts an imposing figure in his long dark coat, his black-blue hair flowing like ink over his shoulders. Two delicate pointed ears peek out from under his mane, his eyes the color of a winter storm as they scan the pub. The air is so static around him, I can almost hear it crackling. Every hair on my body stands on end. There's no doubt about what this newcomer is. Fairy.
You don't know where he is,
The fairy's voice is low and dangerous. He looks at Briar, a perfect eyebrow arched. Briar clears her throat.
Great timing as always, Az.
An icy breeze whips through the pub, sending napkins and coasters flying. Goosebumps rise on my arms. The Fae turns his attention back to Azrael.
You've been avoiding me, just like the traitor you are. I shouldn't be surprised.
Listen, I know I said he was an elf, and the elf and Fae are beefing. It's still Azrael and Rook beefing.
It is still...
I give myself a quarter point for that.
They are beefing.
So much beefing. The beefiest of beefs.
A very chilly... It's like a frozen beefsteak, like, carved into a point.
You're gonna shiv someone with a frozen beefsteak?
Yes.
A shiv steak. The word traitor catches my attention, though maybe if Azrael betrayed this guy, he did a good thing.
Rook, long time no see. How is your lovely sister?
Oh shit.
Also, you're frightening my companion.
A side-eye Azrael calling me his companion, but he ignores me, keeping his focus on the fairy, Rook. The fairy doesn't even deign to look in my direction, which is fine by me. The man stalks towards us, his gaze fixed on Azrael. Above us, the light begins to flicker, then go out one by one with an audible pop. Oh shit! Is that a Fae slur?
No. That's just sort of what Azrael is.
Okay, little scamp.
God, sorry, I'm just looking at Rook. He's very pretty.
Cheekbones could hurt someone.
Stop running from me, pixie.
Oh shit.
Always such a spoil sport, Rook.
Rook snarls. If it was pleasantly cool in the pub a moment ago, it's now Sub-Zero. Finish him. Azrael's smirk falls, and he holds out his hand to me. It's the only then that I notice his nails have extended into claws, and his features have sharpened into something a little less human-looking. He's frightened, too. He glances at me, his voice low.
We're leaving.
I don't have time to reply before he grips me tightly by the arm. The ground drops out from under me. Fucking magic. I think I scream. It feels like I'm falling, plummeting through the endless void. My stomach churns as I fight the urge to be sick. The darkness presses in on me from all sides, suffocating in absolute. Then, as quickly as it started, it stops. My feet hit solid ground and I stumble, disoriented. Azrael's hand is still locked around my wrist. The hell was that? But we'll be finding out what the hell that was after this ad break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
And we're back.
It was a well-deserved water break.
Yes.
Whew. How far do you think we are in the demo? That far? Wow. She's still processing, loading.
There's a chapter 3, and we're in chapter 2.
Okay.
But we're almost at the end of chapter 2, I think.
All right. All right, so before the ad break, we got teleported because shit was going down in the bar.
Because Rook had appeared, my sweet, beautiful elven Elsa.
What the hell was that? I yanked my arm free. Where are we? But as I look around, I realize we're in the parking lot where I left my car.
We need to go.
Azrael's voice is urgent, bordering on panicked. He throws a cautious look over his shoulder, but I only stand my ground and cross my arms. We?
It's gonna sue somebody.
Fine, I need to go. We can part ways, or I can come with you, and we can continue our conversation.
And you'll tell me what this was all about, and everything you know about the murder and Gideon?
Yes, just get in the car, please.
Oh wow, he really is spooked. I do as he asks, unlocking the door for him to slide into the passenger seat.
A car that old, you're gonna have to go to the other side, actually turn the lock in the passenger door, and open it for him.
Yeah. I don't think we can outdrive a Fae. Azrael smiles.
Oh, how little you know of magic.
She's gonna put some magic nitrous in the car. I could drive home, but I still trust Azrael about as far as I could throw him. Instead, I head toward the beach near the lighthouse. There's a parking lot there, and it's usually empty.
Oh, look, a lighthouse.
I pull into a spot close to the shore, looking up at Widower's Point Lighthouse, its weathered white exterior gleaming in the afternoon sun. It's an impressive structure, a relic from another era, still standing proud against the elements, and one of Twin Coves' historical heritage sites. The calming, familiar sound of waves lapping against the rocky shore fills the silence, punctuated by the calls of seagulls soaring overhead. Peacemaker Harbor sparkles in the distance, sunlight glinting off the gentle waves. I take a fortifying breath. So, magic doesn't like cars?
Magic doesn't like technology. Electricity.
He pats the dashboard, giving the car an appreciative sweep. You know what? So the perfect place for them to have a conversation that doesn't involve Rook is an Apple store. Or
Were
perhaps the Staples.
Were
Or
there
Best
specific
Buy.
Apple stores in 97? Because, I don't think they'd come out
with
with
second thought. No, Radio Shack.
Radio Shack, yeah.
Radio Shack.
Because I was going to say, I don't think they sold I think they were only selling computers at that point.
Or Sears.
No, Sears was a little bit of everything. I think a Radio Shack would be your best place. That or the AV room for the high school.
I'm saying you go to Sears, the electronics section, because they were still having game demos in that part of Sears.
Yeah, but then the Fae would just take you over to the,
What about Electronics Boutique?
God.
That's before GameStop. EB Games.
We old.
Oh, God.
Nice ride.
It was Gideon's. He hums thoughtfully. I cut the engine and turn to Azrael. Answers. Now. He runs a hand through his hair, closing his eyes briefly.
I cannot tell you the nature of the deal I made with Lee or her sister, Heather. Just know that I did not wish them ill. Why would I? I don't get their years if they die before the deals can be fulfilled.
He smirks, playing the villain once again. But now I think I can see it's more of a disguise. One that is fraying at the edges. He looks tired of wearing it. And for the first time, I wonder about Azrael. His past. What's he doing in the human world? For the most part, it's against the law for Fae to be here in the human realm. A law fueled by human prejudice and fear of powers beyond their control. And I doubt he's one of the exceptions allowed to be here. So the deals you made with them weren't fulfilled?
No.
Why do you make deals at all? Why use your magic to help humans? It's a question I've had for a while now.
The world is deeply unfair in any realm.
He shrugs.
And I can. But before you go getting ideas to some selfless saver of the downtrodden, I benefit quite a bit. Magic works differently here. It's everywhere in Fairy, and everything here it's hard to come by. The only thing comparable I've found is, well, a mortal's life.
I blink, then blink again. So you trade magical boons for a few years off of someone's lifespan in order to gain more magic?
Something like that.
Why do you need more magic? He doesn't say anything. I wait, but he remains silent. I never thought I learned this much, to be honest. I push my luck a little more. Do you know the real identity of the maid who died today? His gaze slides toward me, then away.
I can guess.
Who was she then? I feel that old familiar frustration boil up in me. I just want to shake him, knock loose every secret, every half-truth, then maybe throttle him myself for good measure.
If you want to continue down this path, then find out for yourself. I know you are more than capable of ferreting out a name.
Then what?
Then we can solve a murder or two. Or you can stay out of this, forget everything you know, and go somewhere far away until all of this is over. I meant what I said. You'll be safe from harm if you leave this be.
And what about Gideon? And that Fae Rook?
Find her name, and then we can talk more freely. And stay away from Rook.
I groan with frustration, squeezing my eyes shut and flopping back against the car seat. You're infuriating. Do you know that? He doesn't respond, and when I open my eyes, Azrael is gone. Fucking magic. I need a nap.
Let's not make them an alcoholic this time.
Yeah.
I definitely made my MC an alcoholic when I played the original demo.
Oh my goodness.
Just drinking at like fucking 8 in the morning.
I'm sure Lear was very concerned for you.
Well, I was drinking at home.
Oh, that's even worse. I start the car, the engine roaring to life beneath my feet. Seems I have a choice to make. I can find Mary Bright's real name and maybe, just maybe, find out how all this is connected. Or I can leave. Run. Like I did 7 months ago and hide in some other small town, this time where no one knows my name. The anti-cheers, if you will. I don't have to make that decision now, but I do know where I need to go.
Oh, we should drop a save. We haven't done that in a while.
Oh shit. Yeah, let's drop a little save. Little save
Oh.
soon.
Little savey wavy.
A little wavy savey.
You're looking for return at the bottom.
Delete all the things. All of it. Just delete it. Okay, I'm returning. I head back to town to Gideon's office. It's the only one place I know I can feel closest to him and where I can think.
Dad!
No! I fish my keys out of my pocket and unlock the door to Clearwater Investigations for the first time in over a week.
Fun fact, that hallway was originally the hallway to MC's apartment in the first demo.
I love that you have all the deep lore regarding this game's development.
Oh, yeah.
You're the lore master.
I am the lore master.
I push open the door and step into the small, cramped office that smells like a mixture of old books and spearmint. Gideon had taken into chewing it in an effort to kick the decades-long smoking habit.
Dad.
I flick on the only light, a broken ceiling fan, the bulb casting a soft glow over the cluttered desk. As I step inside, the sadness hits me like a punch to the gut. My eyes start to burn. Megan. He has a crayon on his desk. And Lord Jesus, how long has that cup of coffee been there?
You're about to find out.
Oh God, it's growing life. But there's also a sense of comfort in being here. This was where Gideon taught me everything I know about being a private investigator. Whether I realized it or not at the time, I spent countless hours in this office, poring over case files with him and doing research. I felt like a piece of him was still here, even if he's not. Gideon's desk takes up most of the space, piled high with stacks of papers, empty coffee cups, and a half-eaten sandwich that's starting to grow mold. The walls are lined with bookshelves, filled with everything from detective novels to legal texts. A corkboard on the wall behind the desk is covered in blurry photos, scribbled notes, and a map. Remnants of one of those cases Gideon was working on before he died. I carefully use a pen to shove the sandwich into the nearby garbage can with a grimace. Faded upholstery crackles beneath me as I sink into Gideon's worn leather chair, running my fingers over the polished oak of his desk.
God, Ashlee, do you remember those computers?
Yeah, the yellowed plastic of an old CRT.
Oh.
My eyes drift over the contents of Gideon's desk, taking inventory. A faded calendar hangs on the wall, still turned to September. Gideon's messy scrawl fills the squares, a mix of client meetings and full moons. I check the day he died, hoping there will be some hint. But there is nothing written in the small white box. Of course, there wouldn't be so easy. Digitalis? The computer screen is dark, but a bright pink post-it note clings to the monitor. One word is written on it in Gideon's blocky handwriting. Digitalis?
You know that computer has, at best, like if it's high end, has maybe like 100 gigabytes of storage. Like, and that's
Gigabytes?
high.
Gigabytes?
High.
Gigabytes? Megan, my first computer, when I finally got it to upgrade, it had 1 gigabyte. 1 gigabyte of memory. Honey, that thing has maybe 500 megabytes of memory. It's running Windows 95.
You guys are adorable. I can
Okay,
remember
we
back
get it, you're old.
I can remember when computers used to measure themselves in kilobytes.
I remember when computers had punch cards. Yes, we know. More sticky notes are scattered across the desk, most of them mundane reminders. Things like pick up dry cleaning and call Rosie back.
I want to know who Rosie is. We might have already met them.
Is she a riveter? There are some papers scattered about as well, most of them looking like photocopies. I glance at them, about to brush them to the side, when a word catches my eye. Ivy House. I pull the piece of paper close. Pack of pickled peppers. It appears to be some official-looking letter with a Centurion Worldwide at the header. I skimmed the contents, then I read it again more slowly. Seems this company wanted to buy Ivy House.
Reminder, this is the company that I believe bought Moe's.
Yep.
Most happy.
It is this company that bought... Is this the company that bought out Moe's? Speaking of... I make a mental note to stop by and see if Norma recognizes the name. Perhaps I'll be able to ask Mr. Cross about this next time and see him as well, if I see him. Maggie, can I still do Norma's voice if she comes up?
Absolutely. You are MC. MC's sort of internal monologue / narration, and Norma.
Forever Norma. One thing is for sure, Centurion Worldwide seems more than willing to pay quite a lot to take Ivy House off Mr. Cross's hands. I whistle low and toss the paper gently onto the desk.
And that's going to be hard. Xander is not a young man.
Xander Cross has owned Ivy House for decades, going back to the 1920s, if I remember correctly. It used to belong to one of the town's founding families, the Peacemakers.
I don't trust that last name. I don't like it.
I spin to view the board behind me. Some blurry photos and some notes listing days and times are pinned up. Evidence from a case Gideon had been working on.
Gideon was taking pictures of fucking Bigfoot. That's why they're so blurry.
A suspected affair. With Bigfoot? Hey
Some
now.
people are into hairy men.
Hey now. Was this the case he was doing? A stakeout for when he died? Had he been on the other side of the peninsula, near the more affluent neighborhood of Eastside? I swallow down the lump in my throat and focus on the task at hand. I carefully take the photos and notes down, stowing them away in a drawer just in case. I need a blank slate to work with. After a minute of riffling, I find a new map of the town in the desk drawer and some index cards under a paper pile. I grab a few different color pens from their holder, enough to get me started on an evidence board, or crazy wall, as Gideon like to call them.
Could that word be rifling?
Riffling?
Maybe, but it looked like riffling. I decided it was riffling. We be riffling. I smile, a genuine smile for the first time in I don't know how long at the memory. Bitches be riffling. I take the map up in a corner, and then with a green pen I write down Ivy House on a card and stick it in the middle of the board. Next I write Mary Bright, fake name, in a blue pen and pin it beneath.
Now here's a question. Do you see... What do you see when you look at the Twin Coves map? Like, what's the
An
shape?
arrow?
An arrow. Also, alternatively, my brain went to mermaid tail.
Okay.
What?
I didn't say anything. I just said okay.
I could hear you sassing me in your head. I could hear it.
I think you're just crazy.
I think you're crazy.
What Megan really wants to know is, do you see what she sees? Do you hear what I hear?
I will shut this down right now.
You can even hear me.
Leaning back, I stare at the very small start. For a moment I hesitate, but add Xander Cross to the board as well, placing it above Ivy House. I truly doubt he had anything to do with the maid's death, but perhaps he knows more than he let on. Okay, these cards are way too big in comparison to the size of the map. His crazy board is just going to be all post-it notes. He might as well have the map off to the side and then make his crazy board with index cards in a different section and then have like... I don't know. I don't even know. The map's too small. That's all I have to say. I grab another index card and scribble Azrael in red ink, sticking it just inside of the maid's card. My mind drifts to the rose tattoo on my shoulder, a permanent reminder of the deal I struck with the pixie back in Seattle. Then I add 2 more cards below Azrael, Lee and Heather, the sisters who started everything. I pause, tapping the pen against my lips, then add another card next to Azrael's, Rook. The thought of this cold stare sends me an involuntary shiver down my spine. Another card goes up. I place Ren on the other side of the Mary Bright. What is the connection to all this? This is a mess. I blame the character himself. Nothing to do with Wisteria Games. I blame the MC for being silly with how he set up his evidence board. Grabbing a fresh stack of cards, I quickly jot down Werewolf and add the card for Damien Luna, sticking them up on the wall. He is the local pack leader, after all. He may know something about the wolf I saw. I sit back, taking in the sparse collage so far. My gaze drifts to the letter about Centurion Worldwide, and I grab a post-it, adding someone trying to buy under Ivy House. What's the connection there? Listen, y'all. I need to take a drink of water.
I added too much sugar to my tea.
I didn't even make myself tea because I'm a nerd.
You want some of mine?
Yes.
No, I didn't hand it to you open over the electronics. This stream not sponsored by Throat Coat.
Though, Throat Coat, if you want to sponsor us, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, as you could tell, Ashlee, I put too much sugar.
That was very sweet. Letting out a frustrated sigh, I pick up another card, then stop. The pen hovering over it as my mind whirs. Gideon's death. I don't want to believe it could have been a murder, but too much has happened since for me to ignore my suspicions. I add multiple question mark after Gideon and add his name to the board. I add a card below Gideon's, Kai. I need to see what he knows. I doubt it was really just a hunch that led Kai to believe Gideon had been murdered. There's also the bartender from the Green Knight. He seems to know Gideon. Couldn't hurt to ask him a few more questions. I add Lear to the board besides Kai. Just as I'm about to set the card aside for now, a new name pops into my head. Cass, my ex from 7 years ago, who I haven't seen or spoken to since the last left without a word. What are the odds of him just showing up here in Twin Coves now after all this time? Swallowing hard, I quickly write Cassidy Fisher on the final card and slap it up on the board, sitting back to stare at the pathetic collection of clues and threads with no idea where any of them lead. Lost in thought, I start at the sound of keys jingling and metal scraping against metal. I freeze, heart pounding in my ears. Is someone trying to get into the office? I set down the pen and index cards, my eyes starting to the door. I hold my breath, listening intently. A moment later, the doorknob wiggles, and the low tone of someone grumbling outside the door sends another wave of panic through me. Who else besides Gideon and me had a key, unless they're trying to pick the lock? A muffled curse comes from the other side of the door as something drops to the floor. Then a pause. I wait, hoping whoever it is trying to get in has given up. No such luck.
Somebody's really fucking bad at picking locks.
Right? The handle jiggles again, then slowly turns. Shit. I glance around the office, frantically searching for anything I could use as a weapon. I'm about to try my luck with hurling a pack of index cards at them when my eyes land on something better.
Lamp.
I was going to say stapler.
Lamp.
A heavy metal desk lamp. I grab it, clutching it tightly in my hands just as the door swings open with a low creak. A man pauses in the doorway, looking as surprised to see me as I am to see him. He's a giant of a man, broad-shouldered and burly, with 3 deep scars running down the right side of his face into his days-old scruff. But the height and scars aren't the most noticeable thing about him. It's the shock of white through his brown hair. His eyes widen as they land on me, then narrow slightly. I grip the desk lamp more tightly, ready to launch it in the head if it makes a sudden move. Who are you? He holds up his hands in a placating gesture. That's when I notice a small metal tool in his hand, a lockpick.
Easy there. I'm not a fucking horse.
Not a fucking... It's like, we can give you a fucking sugar cube next? Actually, I wouldn't mind a sugar cube right now. I'm kind of panicked. His voice a deep rumble. Hey, girl. Ooh, I'm not here to cause any trouble.
I'm not here to cause any trouble.
I don't lower the desk lamp. That doesn't answer my question. He nods, concealing the point.
Fair enough. I'm Eli. I'm here to pick up a few things for Damien. Why didn't Damien ask me for the fucking keys?
At the mention of Damien's name, I relax slightly, but I don't let my guard down completely. Damien sent you? Eli nods again.
He did. Said there were some files he needed from Gideon's office. He didn't ask me for the key, despite knowing that I inherited everything?
He gives a brief nod in my direction.
I take it you're Morgan?
I blink, surprised he knows my name. How do you know who I am? A hint of a smile plays at the corner of his mouth.
Gideon mentioned you. Is Gideon just telling about me to telling us, like, everybody he met?
Like, I'm telling you. He's like that guy.
With the
accordion picture where it's like, hey, look at my kids! Bow, 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 bow.
Except,
shoves
like,
it in your face.
It's not just pictures of Morgan, it's also, like, folded up, like, things they've wrote for newspapers, like, newspaper clippings. It's like, this is my son, Morgan, that
Megan,
they wrote this.
We need to harness the power of animation and make little skits.
Whew. I was thinking...
Bro, if we could do that, we'd be fucking millionaires.
I was thinking one of us could dress up as Gideon. You cannot tell me that Uncle does not have all the necessary clothing items for one of us to dress up as Gideon.
So, are we saying, like, next episode we should dress up as characters from Twin Coves?
That would be silly and fun, but we're not going to play Twin Coves next time. But we could just make a little skit.
Okay. We're plotting things, guys. Watch out. You know Gideon? He pauses, seeming to consider his words.
I did. A little. Bitch, why are you being so fucking shifty?
The past tense stings, but I swallow it down. I eye him with suspicion. Gideon never mentioned you. He doesn't seem surprised by that news, sliding his hand into his pockets, trying to look as non-threatening as possible, and failing. He'd probably have to curl up on the floor to accomplish that. Why are you trying to pick the lock if you're supposed to be here? He looks a bit chastised at that accusation. Well, I didn't have the key.
Gideon, my sweet lumberjack of a man. What the Gideon. Eli. I forgot the key. I didn't want to drive all the way back to get it. I don't know if I trust you.
Well, listen, Megan, there was a couple of times in our old house where Mom had to break into our house because she forgot the key and she had to use an old credit card.
Listen, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to drive all the way back to get the keys. As someone who lived in the 90s, it's relatable that sometimes you have to break into your own shit.
I remember one time the power was out and the garage door was, like, obviously the power's out. We couldn't open the garage door. So we had to unlock the garage door that goes, meh.
I love that the sound effects like don't give anyone any clue. Like, meh. It's just like, is she fucking meowing? Is she like a barnyard animal impression?
I did a thing in front of my face, like the door.
Like, yeah, like meh. Nobody knows what that means. It's a roll door. It's a mechanized roll door. It
It's
makes
the
a loud
garage.
meh noise. Apparently,
Have you never listened to one?
you're assuming that a lot of people know what that noise is supposed to be and doing this. I'm
Yeah.
just saying you're making a lot of assumptions. That's all I'm saying.
The door that you click the button and it goes up so you can drive your car into the garage. At like a regular house that has a garage.
I don't like how sassy you're being with our audience. I don't think they appreciate it.
Anyways,
No, I don't.
See?
I didn't ask you.
Oh shit.
Anyways, so we actually had to unlock that because for some it wouldn't lift if you didn't like
Didn't
a
have
literal-
power. So there was an emergency brake, like there's an emergency cable. You pull it and it pops it loose so you can like physically open and close the door.
Yeah, that's what I said unlocked, but it was like you had to pull a weird ass cable and then you had to actually manually lift the
You
door.
had to
like
pull
it
the
was the
weird ass
1950s.
emergency cable. It was a cord. It was a nylon cord with a plastic handle and just yanked it. All right. I narrow my eyes.
And he couldn't have just called Damien to be like, "Hey, I forgot the key."
Yeah, here's the thing. What phone was he gonna use?
the
It's the
phone
90s.
booth on the side of the road.
Oh, he had to go all the way to Moe's to use the phone booth on the side of the road, the only phone
Yes.
booth in town.
Yes.
Or he could have just broke it. Like, honestly, listen, 2025 doesn't make sense. It's wild for you to just fucking break into an office. 1997, it's a little more relatable. Sometimes you gotta break into your own shit.
Also, why does he have lockpicks?
Because sometimes you gotta break into your own shit. Why did mom have an old credit card she had to use to break into her own house?
Because
Because sometimes you forget her keys.
I will also say that, like, I am very suspicious of Eli. I know he's a romance option.
But
He's on the front screen, but he has secrets, and I don't trust him.
Like, his secrets have secrets.
His secrets have secrets.
And they're very secretive.
Yes.
And you know how to pick a lock?
why did he have secrets if you have them?
His shoulders shift slightly in what I can only assume was a shrug.
Comes in handy.
He seems to see this line of questioning isn't boding well for him. He clears his throat, then glances at the phone and the desk in front of me.
Why don't you give Damien a call? He'll verify me.
I think I'll do just that. I pick up the receiver, still juggling the desk lamp as I go to dial. Right, I trail off, realizing I don't know Damien's number. I glance up at Eli, who's still standing in the doorway, trying his best not to look amused. He could be pretending to be someone named Eli who Damien knows. Small test, then. I don't suppose you have his number? Eli nods and slowly recites the number, and I punch it into the landline. After a few moments, Damien's warm voice comes to the line, and I'm sorry, but that phone dial noise just brought back, like, memories. And it's just the same dial noise, to be honest, though. Never mind.
Hello?
Point towards Eli not being an axe murderer. He did indeed know Damien's number.
But I bet Damien's number's in the goddamn yellow pages.
Yeah, but he took the time to memorize specifically Damien's number.
Yeah, and if he was doing something suspicious.
Oh god, you're so fucking sus.
Oh, the yellow pages is the phone book. I don't think the yellow pages exist anymore in the same form.
Yellow pages is specifically businesses. You look up
White
somebody's
pages.
personal number in the white pages.
So they used to have, I don't know how young or old some of you are, but they sometimes someone would toss into your driveway a white plastic bag filled with a book so thick you cannot tear it in half by hand.
Well,
You
People
could
have
but-
competitions to show how strong they
yeah,
are by
yeah,
ripping them in
yeah,
half.
stuff like that.
Anyway, a fat ass book is thrown in your driveway, and it just happens to contain everyone's phone number
Yeah,
in your community.
the white pages had the
Which, in retrospect to 2025, is a fucking wild thing that everyone just gets a copy of everybody's phone number.
unless like you're unlisted or something, but like the
But you
white
had to specifically unlist yourself.
yeah, and you had to pay to not be listed.
So you were just like automatically, there was no privacy in terms of phone numbers.
probably default.
Yeah. Now you don't give out people's phone numbers.
That's why AAA is called AAA, so that they could be first in the yellow pages.
Really? That's some deep AAA lore you got going on there.
It's the autism, really.
Welcome to my special interest. Damien, it's Morgan. There's a man named Eli here. Says you sent him to grab some files. There's a long pause on the other end of the line. Damien clears his throat.
Yes, Eli. I did send him to grab a few things from Gideon's office. As the executor of his will, there are some files I needed to look over. And you didn't ask me. I guess we were pretty fucked up when we saw him. But, like...
Suspiciously drinks a bottle of water. I glance over at Eli, who's studying the books on Gideon's shelves, clearly trying to give me some semblance of privacy. Right, okay. Thanks for the confirmation.
Of course.
Wait, one more thing. Eli arches a brow from the other end of the room, but I ignore him. While I have Damien on the line, I might as well ask. Earlier today, I think I saw a werewolf in Twin Coves. Would you happen to know anything about that? I hear Eli let out a cough, but when I look up, his face is as passive as ever. There's another long pause on Damien's end.
A werewolf?
A werewolf would have long paws.
Jesus Christ. Oh my fucking god.
No, I don't know anything about that, I'm afraid. Where was this?
Adam, shut the fuck up. To tell him or not to tell him when I went venturing into the woods to explore the scene of a possibly and very probable crime? What do we do?
You know what? Tell him. Because that wolf in the woods had a white spot on its face, and Eli has white chunks in the front of his hair.
I may have been in the woods by the Ivy house earlier today.
And what were you doing in the woods?
Being a meddling kid. He sighs and cuts me off before I can explain further, saying something in rapid Spanish too low for me to hear properly.
Damien is from Mexico. I'll look into for you, if you'd like.
Yes, thank you. I'd appreciate it.
Actually, while I have you, why don't you come over for dinner tomorrow night? There's a few loose threads concerning Gideon's will we should tie up. And you can tell me more about this werewolf sighting. And what you were doing in the woods.
I can hear the reproachment in his voice. I hesitate. An evening speaking about Gideon. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, but Damien might have some answers I need, and a home-cooked meal does sound nice.
Cheaper than takeout.
Mm-hmm. Damien gives me his address before I hang up, and I turn to face Eli, who's now leaning against the doorframe, his arms crossed over his broad chest. Sorry about the... I wave the desk lamp in the air, then finally set it down. Looks like you're in the clear. He nods, then shrugs, unconcerned, a hint of a smile playing at his lips.
I can't blame you for being cautious, especially given everything that's happened.
I frown at that. Meaning? He hesitates, as if debating how much to say. You done fucked up, son.
Just that things have been unsettled lately. Gideon's death has put everyone on edge.
I study Eli, trying to get a read on him. He seems sincere enough, but there's something about him that sets me on edge. Maybe it's the fact that he's a complete stranger who just walked into Gideon's office like he belonged here.
I can't remember if... There was another character, I can't remember if they were mentioned. It would be in part 1. Anyways, I'll grab the files and then I'll get out of your hair.
Right. Well, I'll just get back to work. Eli's eyebrows shoot up infinitesimally, his gaze drifting to the corkboard behind me.
Anything interesting?
I move to block my board, suddenly protective of my crazy wall. The corner of his mouth tilts up at my overreaction. Perhaps. He simply hums and nods once before heading to a filing cabinet on the back wall and opens a drawer. I keep my head down, eyes focused on my index cards, but I'm just writing gibberish while keeping watch out of my periphery. He sifts through a few files, taking the occasional one out to flip through, before apparently finding what he needs. He slips the green folder under his arm. He heads out the door, pausing before taking his leave.
I'll be going now.
I glance up, trying to act as if I was busy, and give a half-hearted wave.
Eli?
Excuse me, bitch? Eli? He raises an eyebrow. Next time, just knock. He chuckles.
Will do, Morgan. We're not gonna ask what the fucking file was?
That would have been like, oh, whoa. Let me see that first.
Yeah.
Come here. Okay, you're good. You may leave. You're gonna sign this out. After he leaves, I add one more card to the board. Eli. That looks like keys.
Yes.
I spent another hour or so making additional notes and connecting the various dots, but there's one last clue to add to my board. The keys. I pull them from my jacket pocket, turning them this way and that. One of the keys is obviously to Ivy House, some sort of master key to all the rooms, I presume. That might come in handy.
Oh, we're gonna be a little sneaky Susie.
A little bit of B&E.
It's not B&E if you have a key.
Oh, nicely rhymed. The next looks like it's the key to a motel room of some kind. There's a tag with a number on the side, likely a room number. The name Sunset Motel is embossed on this other side.
That sounds like a hotel or motel you go that you like pay by the hour.
There you go. I knew you'd get there eventually. It took you 3 business days to get there.
Fuck you. Also, I did when I did look at this game at home, and when I could get the screen closer to my face because I have bad eyesight, it does say Centurion on the
Yes.
pepper spray.
The third key looks like it belongs to a car, most likely the maid's. Where's the car now? I turn on Gideon's computer, waiting for it to struggle to life. After typing in a few keywords into Ask Alfred. Oh no.
So,
I'm given a list of the few different websites for a Sunset Motel. One in Arizona, another in Maryland, and one less than 30 minutes north.
for those who are not raised in the 90s, or at least not early enough in the 90s to like remember this. So if you ever used the site ask.com, I don't even know if it's still up. It used to be called askjeeves.com. And Ask Alfred.
He was your internet butler. He can give you
He was your internet butler.
But the thing is, like, Ask Jeeves wasn't really a thing until the early aughts. 97, like the mid to late 90s, the internet wasn't too much of a thing commonly.
Google was there. Wait, hold on. I can solve this.
Like, internet was not as ubiquitous in the mid to late 90s. After the new millennium was different. That's when people really started getting internet access in their homes.
Ask Jeeves was fully launched on June 1st, 1997. And it was rebranded as Ask.com in 2005. So, Ask Jeeves did technically exist in 1997.
Yeah.
And if they're private investigators, they would know.
They were there. They were day one on Ask Alfred.
Just Gideon be like,
I love that Wisteria Games probably sat down for like fucking 45 minutes. Like, all right, I want to use. What was fucking Ask Jeeves? Like, fucking started. Okay, this takes place 97.
Well, yeah, you got to do something. And, you know, when you're supposed to be writing and you're like, when was Ask Jeeves?
When did everything actually happen? Fuck.
Like, I'm not expecting MC to have a cell phone.
That'd be a little wild.
They might be able to have a Nokia brick.
97, it'd be more likely for them to have a car phone than it would be for a cell phone.
Like, not like the one everybody calls the brick, that is that indestructible phone.
Mm-hmm.
But like the actual ones that were the size of a brick.
Like, I couldn't convince mom and uncle to get me a cell phone until I was like well into college, and that was 2005.
I was in 10th grade when I finally convinced them. And that was because I was at a school event and I didn't have a cell phone. And I went with someone. They were like, just use their cell phone. But then I couldn't find them after the event. And Mom got
chaos.
And Mom got all huffy, like, why didn't you call me? And I'm like, I didn't have a personal cell phone. I didn't know
like,
anybody.
Brenda, why, like Brendels, why did you not think, like, where was your concern when things like this would happen when you were a kid and there was just fucking nothing?
And then, like I said,
hoped you didn't turn up as like a dead body on the side of the road somewhere.
And I was like, I didn't have a phone. And Mom was just like. And then, like, that summer, I got one of those phones. It was 25 cents every text message.
Oh, yeah, the track phone, baby. Track phone.
And all of my text messages got used up by college recruiters, which was the most annoying fucking thing.
Good old track phone. Do you remember the freaking calling cards we'd have to use all the time?
I don't remember when texts were nickel. I don't remember when 25 cents is a little.
Well, track phone was a bit predatory in times.
Yeah. And
they came in Nokia brick and Nokia brick.
99 or 2000.
They came in off-brand Nokia brick. Let's be real. But my favorite cell phone I ever had was you could slide it either
Vertically
like this
or horizontally?
Or like this. Yeah, vertically or horizontally.
That wasn't a Nokia. Those are like the sidekicks.
No.
Oh
That's...
God,
Yeah,
Right?
I had a sidekick. That was my first actual cell phone, was a sidekick, and I could just text.
Yeah, I had one. I can't remember.
It had Snake on it.
It was an off. It wasn't the sidekick because that was like the gold, like the cool kids kind of like iPhone slick thing. I had the one was an HTC.
Oh, our mom had the breast cancer pink. What company made it? The Razor. Do you remember that one?
Oh, Motorola Razor.
Gotta love
Yo, Motorola Razor was the fucking phone to have for like
Yes, it was.
a year and a half. Everybody was like, fucking Razor, I'm good. I remember one guy at this gas station I worked at came in and was like, yo, I've got the Gucci brand Razor flip phone. There's only so many of these in the world. I spent like $800 on this. And I'm like, and it's like gold plated. I'm like, you wasted your money on a phone, bro. Like
that seems ridiculous now, but people thought you were going to have those phones for years.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize how obsolescent how much obsolescence was built into these phones.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I liked having the fucking Razor. It was nice.
The Razor was nice.
Yo, what's up? You flip it out. You flip it out.
Oh,
But the HTC was nice because it had the flip up for the dial, like the regular number pad, and then the side flip.
Actually, I think
go
that's
for
the
the
one I
full
had because
keyboard.
Mom wouldn't get. No, the Sidekick was T-Mobile or Sprint only or something.
Yeah, the Sidekick was a very specific name brand
So
flagship
we had
phone.
I think we both had the off-brand one where you
Yeah, the
flip it.
HT. I think it was. I don't think it was like a 3-letter company that
Yeah.
quickly went out of business. That was like their only flagship phone.
It was a
like
great phone though.
the vertical push up and then like a horizontal slide
For like a full
for
ass
2 different
keyboard.
keyboards. For a full QWERTY keyboard.
There was a lot of the
And like each one was like the width of a pinky nail.
Half a width of a pinky nail, man. It was some small ass
Tiny ass keys.
Before that, we were calling in airstrikes to do like text messages.
Oh yeah.
Because like a number pad, you know how you look at a calculator or like an old phone and it has letters underneath the number? Or you'll see, are you seeing it on the calculator?
Yeah, you do. You still see it on your phone screens now. Like when you go to your phone and keypad, it'll have the little letters underneath. You won't see it on calculators, but if you like look on your actual keypad on your phone,
Yeah.
it will still have those letters.
That's how you had to text. You had to punch in the, like, oh my God. And you want to know, like, well, ABC, like, what is it, all three? Like, you had to hit that button, like, 1, 2, or 3. 1 for A, 2 for B, 3 for C. And you had to do that, like, and then you had to, like, I'll be right there. And then it's like, boop, 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 boop,
7 and 9 were the worst keys because they each had 4.
Oh! And if you wanted to use punctuation, fucking forget about it. That's why like text speak is so abbreviated, because we had to like call in a goddamn airstrike every time we wanted to say
And we
I'm on
could
my
do
way.
that at the speed of
Be right there.
sound.
Bro, there were so many nights where I had like fallen asleep, but I had still texted people with a number pad text system. Like I wake up, I'm like, how did I fucking text you this in my sleep? I was like,
Oh. We are old.
You guys playing a game?
Sorry, this is
we got
just
distracted by our age.
like this taking place in the 90s is just so cell phones and like Google doesn't exist, and I know that, but it gives nostalgia for those of us who were born. God, you were born in the 80s. I was born early 90s.
Yeah, you were born in 92. I was born in 84.
We have each decade represented for birth years. We have 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Oh, God. I write down the address to one of the closest Twin Coves. Oh, we're talking about the motel again. We're back to the game. I was just thinking that, too. It has to be the place, at least, I hope. Otherwise, this set of keys will be a dead end. And I'll be back to square one.
God, would motels even have, like, security cameras back then? They'd probably be super expensive.
Maybe. They might have one.
Like, yeah, it's over the cashier counter.
Exactly.
And
it's over the money.
And it has, like, the plexiglass. It looks close enough to be hard to shoot through.
It's, like, really thick plastic.
Yeah.
Though, maybe not. If there's anyone in this town who was always the lookout for a story as much as I was, it's Kato Takeda.
Kaido!
Kai.
Also, Ashlee, I do need to tell you this about the game. So I was joking with you last time about how I'm gonna force you to play Cassie's route, but the routes in this game are set up into 4 different mystery plots. Kai, Lear, and Cassidy's all follow the same plot line, so we will get to see lots of both of them, and then we just have to choose Kai or Cassidy.
I claim Kai for this play of the demo.
Okay. I love every single romance option. And when we finish the demo, I will give just fun facts I remember from the Tumblr.
Kaido Takeda. I should talk to them. I groan, leaning back in my chair until the leather groans with me. Last time I saw him, he was coming to me with conspiracy theories about Gideon. Now I'm not so sure there are theories. Might be time to hear them out. Before I can think of better of it, I have the Twin Coves daily website up. I navigate to Kai's profile, which proclaims him as the new editor-in-chief of the paper, which a cheery little write-up about his academic successes and tenure at the prestigious LA Chronicle before he swooped in to save his hometown paper from closing its doors.
He is like the hometown hero.
He's the last person I thought had ever come back to Twin Coves. He'd always had big dreams, as had I. Look at us now. The line rang once, then Kai's voice is on the other end of the line, sounding a little wary as if I'm not mistaken.
Hello.
Hi, Kai. It's Morgan. Cooper. He lets out a harsh breath, followed by a low chuckle.
That's a relief.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Would he have caller ID?
In the night? He's editor-in-chief, so maybe because he's like the owner and operator of a newspaper.
Were there LCD screens on phones?
In 97, they had little boxes you could put on your phone, but very few people had them.
But he did work for the LA Chronicle, which was big, and he was in a city, so he did have money, so it is possible.
It is possible.
He possibly has caller ID. I mean, I'm sorry, this is Gideon's number for a second. So he does have caller ID.
Ha-ha! The mystery is solved! Yeah. I'm at his office right now. There's an awkward silence where we both wait for the other to finish speaking. Then a rush as we both try to start anew. Fucking hate that shit. I wanted to...
About the other day.
Kai clears his throat and his voice softens.
You called me. You go first. Is there something you needed?
I wanted to know if you can come by tonight. Maybe for dinner? Hello? I think I hear something drop with an echoing clatter on his end, but I press on. I think, well, you might have been right about Gideon. And I'd like to talk about it if you have the time.
Right. Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I can buy tonight. Oh, we were trying to do it in unison. Didn't work out that well. After we agree to a time, I let him get back to work and we hang up.
You know, he is like 30 Shades of Crimson.
So like he dropped the phone and then kept like dropping it. He was like dropping it for like a minute and a half. Like, oh, fuck my hands.
And then he was like,
Hello. Yeah, I'll be right there. I'm coming right now. I mean, I'll be right over now. Oh God, what time are we meeting?
and then like he put the phone back on the receiver, and he goes like,
He screams into a garbage can like.
he opens one of his desk drawers, puts his face into it, and screams.
2 dinner plans made in one day. Nice.
Nice.
If only Gideon could see me now.
Gideon will be so proud.
Look at my baby boy. He's making all the dates. My stomach rumbles, and I remember the coffee and a few bites of waffle that made up the entirety of my meal for the day so far. Conveniently, Gideon's office just so happens to be over the best and only pizza place in town, Anatoly's Pizzeria.
That is one nice thing about at least the town I live in. Ashlee used to live in it, and Adam in the back used to haunt it. It has several pizza places, which is very nice. We don't just have to have like...
Well, not just several pizza places. There's actually a few that don't suck.
Well, lest we forget that East Stroudsburg is a college town. So
It
East
is a college
Stroudsburg and
town.
Stroudsburg sport
Doesn't mean
a-
that's going to give
a
you good pizza
disgusting
places. It's
amount
just
of
going to
pizza
mean you're
places.
going to have a lot of pizza places.
But it is going to mean you have a lot. So there's a
a
chance
law
to
of
have some good
averages
ones.
is on your side.
Yes. There are a couple that are like, oh, did you just open a can of tomato paste and put it on some like pizza dough and some cheap ass mozzarella?
That's just fucking precious. Fucking shots fired. I can tell who we're not getting sponsored by. Maybe
Listen,
I'll stop
I
in the
was a
office for a
taxi
slice
driver.
to
I
tide
got
over
that
until
pizza for
dinner.
free and still didn't eat it.
Oh shit. As I'm about to head out, I brush by the desk and knock into the pen holder, sending pens and pencils scattering across the floor. With a curse, I bend down to begin scooping them up and dropping them back into their cup. That's when a neon yellow square catches my eye under the desk, pushed halfway under the built-in drawers. I pluck it from the ground and flip it over. Only 2 words are written in Gideon's familiar bold hand. Lighthouse, dawn, 10:13. And underneath, tomorrow's date? Did Gideon have a meeting at the lighthouse tomorrow? I slip it in my pocket along with the keys. Whether or not I go to Widower's Point Lighthouse tomorrow at dawn is a question. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. See you in a couple minutes. And we're back.
And we're back.
We're back.
God, what is that? Whites and Corns clothing? Or whatever that like department store is.
Whites and Corns apparently got their stuff because they got the...
They got the big and tall.
Oh, wait, no, the whole building, Whites and Corns, is the white, big and tall. It just has 2 different signs. It's one of those old school small town buildings.
Yeah. But it feels like it's like, oh my God, was it Wyckoff's was big in Pennsylvania at one point?
Something like that.
That sounds right.
It's your turn to speak.
No, I was trying to think, was it Wyckoff's? No, we're getting lost on memory. No, don't look it up. Megan, put that phone down. Oh, Jesus. The afternoon sun is high in the sky as I step out onto the sidewalk, a warm breeze ruffling my jacket. Lost in thought, I don't notice the man stepping out of Anatoly's front door and into my path until it's too late. We collide, sending us both stumbling back. I look up, an apology on my lips, but it dies the moment I see his face. He's tall and thin with pale freckled skin and a mop of unruly red curls. Despite the differences, he looks startlingly like Cassidy. Oh, okay. Hello.
Whites
Stop.
and Corns is a
Kurt Cobain.
is a menswear store.
Oh, it actually is a thing?
It looks like it. It'd be funny if Wisteria Games just like pulled that out of thin air and it actually is a place. Oh, God, Seamus, you're Irish.
Hello there, darling.
Oh, we're not. Nope. Not doing that.
Hello there, darling.
No.
Hello there, darling.
Hello there, darling.
He flashes me a cheeky grin. Even their smiles are the same.
Seamus.
The door to Anatoly's pizzeria swings open, and out steps Cassidy himself, arms weighed down by a stack of pizza boxes and a takeaway bag.
Of course.
Sorry, I wasn't looking.
No worries at all. I should have been paying more attention, especially to a pretty thing like you.
Cassidy quickly steps forward, juggling his load to one arm while shooting the man beside him a stern-eyed look. Their resemblance is uncanny.
Morgan, see you've met my brother Seamus.
Cassidy smiles, but his teeth are clenched tight. A muscle jumps in his jaw.
Oh, this is older sibling, younger sibling shit.
Yeah.
Morgan, the Morgan.
Cassidy shoves the food at his brother, not bothering to wait for him to catch it. Seamus does just in time with an audible oof. Seamus peeks over the stack of pizza boxes, the Irish lilt in his voice pronounced as he ignores his brother and continues.
The Morgan Cooper as I live and breathe.
As I live and breathe.
Wow, it's such a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. Cass has told me so much about you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I glance at Cass, who appears to be trying to shut his brother up by way of pointed glances and eye twitches.
Well, we must be off. Captain will be right pissed with us if this pizza gets cold.
Seamus' brother bumps Cass, then starts heading toward a beat-up Ford Bronco with the fishwife painted along the side, though much of the paint has lost its battle with rust. I begin to make my own excuses, skirting around Cassidy to reach Anatoly's entrance. But before I can enter the pizzeria, Cass calls out to me.
Hey, Morgan, wait up a sec.
I pause, turning back to face him. He steps forward, running a hand through his hair a few times.
I was wondering.
No.
You stop that. If you're not busy tomorrow evening, would you want to go for a walk on the beach? Maybe catch up properly?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have 2 dinners to attend. I hesitate. A part of me wants to say yes, to fall back onto the easy rhythm we once had. But even if I wanted to, I agreed to meet with Damien tomorrow evening. I need to know if he has any idea who that werewolf was, and I will eventually need to discuss Gideon's will. Yet there's nothing stopping us from meeting in the morning. I think of it as a post-it in my pocket. The post-it in my pocket. At dawn, perhaps? Venturing into the woods alone today was a stupid idea. Maybe safer to not go alone. Can I trust Cass?
See, you can just throw Cass into the way. I would meet him in the morning, because then if danger happens,
I'll push him in the way.
Push him in the way.
Actually, I have plans in the evening tomorrow. I saw you about to tail my line, you bitch. But I'm free in the morning if you want to meet at then. At dawn, maybe? If he's surprised by a dawn invitation, he doesn't show it. Cass's smile widens, crinkling the corners of his eyes.
Dawn, I can do that.
Meet you at the lighthouse? We can walk along the shore from there.
Grand. I'll see you then.
Sounds perfect. Despite the day I've had, I can't help the small flutter of anticipation in my chest at the thought of seeing Cass tomorrow. And if any lone werewolves show up, at least I won't be alone, and I can shove Cass in the way and run off and save myself.
And then Cass will fall into the arms of like a really hot werewolf, and then Cassidy will
never bother Morgan again.
Yeah, because he'll be dating a werewolf.
Good for him. Cass looks like he'd want to say something more, but he only nods, shoving his hands in his pockets as I walk inside.
See you tomorrow, Morgan.
He turns and jogs over to the idling Bronco, yanking the passenger door open and hopping in. As they pull away from the curb, I catch Seamus' gaze in the side mirror, a knowing grin on his face as he punches Cass in the shoulder. Shaking my head, I finally head into Anatoly's for my slice.
That is exactly what would happen between us if we were in that sort of situation.
Absolutely. 125%. I would
Just
be
a quick
fucking insufferable to you.
Just a quick question for the group in the room with me. Not to name situations, but was it a white Ford Bronco back in the 90s?
Oh,
What, with OJ? That was a white Bronco, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a white Ford Bronco.
That was a white Ford Bronco. Okay.
Oh my god, we're still reliving the 90s.
Listen.
We're running in the 90s this episode. Not
Oh my
five-
god, if they wanted to watch anime in this game,
They would have to bootleg it and watch Real Player. They had to use a Real Player, Megan.
Oh, they could watch great anime like Ninja Scroll.
oh my god.
Riding Beam,
Holy shit.
and
If you
Vampire
can
Hunter
find
D.
it.
And Vampire Hunter D. In the late 90s, it was easy as fuck to find anime.
Where was it?
I mean, for Blockbuster.
Oh.
I forgot about Blockbuster
I
existing.
forgot that Blockbuster had anime.
Adam, don't you flip me the fuck off. Fuck you, bitch. Yeah, I can do that too.
And any comic book store
that too.
would also carry anime.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Counter had anime. Had a huge anime section.
I remember that.
I remember that I had one volume of the original Sailor Moon manga.
Yeah.
Anyway, not 5 minutes later. What?
No,
What
I
is
was
it
saying-
now?
I was saying,
What
yeah.
is
Oh
it
my god.
now?
You're drinking a jolt.
I'm drinking a Jolt. Where?
Read the screen.
Listen, you little shit. Not 5 minutes later. How dare you? How dare you? I idle the stop sign with a slice of pizza and Jolt sodas sitting on the passenger seat beside me.
It's Jolt Cola.
Hands clenching the wheel as my knuckles bleach to white. My stomach turns to the aroma of grease and cheese, the weight of today's events finally pressing in on me. It's not too late to leave, I think, to forget all of this and never look back. I could turn right and head for the nearest highway. Leave tonight with only the clothes on my back. I had a full tank of gas, a wallet with some cash, and a country song in my heart. Or I could turn left and go back to Gideon's house. My house. I could take the next stop towards finding Mary Bright's real name and perhaps what really happened to Gideon.
Okay.
And give Kai a smooch.
Okay, Ashlee, drop a save. Okay, go back. Continue playing.
This may be my last chance to get out before it's too late, and I'm in too deep, baby. Unbidden, my mind goes to one person in particular.
Choose your fighter.
Kai! If anyone will know more about what's going on in Twin Coves, it's Kaito Takada. We had a bit of a rivalry back in our school days, both of us wanting to be journalists, both of us wanting to be the best. We were the best of friends, the best of enemies, frenemies, idiots in love. I mean, wait. The school newspaper had to make an exception our senior year and let us both be editor-in-chief just to get us to stop bickering. It hadn't stopped, but it had put us on the same team. Perhaps it's time to be on the same team again. But is any of that enough for reason to stay?
Okay. Before you choose, I just want to know what happens if I turn right and never look back. Yeah, just save over that one. Because I didn't choose that.
I turned right and never looked back. On the road again. I made the mistake of sticking my nose into a mystery once before. It didn't, and it nearly cost me my life. I won't make that mistake again. I turned right and I never looked back.
Okay. Load. I just want to know what happened. I wanted to know if we would die. I was hoping that someone would crash into our car and murder us.
Wow, that's morbid as fuck, Megan.
That would be a good ending to the game. If there was a mystery and we were getting our snoot all up in it.
So
And then you die.
Right there is just fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yes, you can just be like, fuck
Just
this
fuck
shit,
right
I'm
off.
out.
I turned left and head home. I made the choice to stick my nose into a mystery once before, and it nearly cost me my life. I ran scared back to Twin Coves, but that mystery may have just followed me here, and it's time I turn around and face it. I turned left and head home. I don't know why that was such a dramatic read just then.
I can tell you're about to really like this next scene.
Oh, shit. At exactly 6 p.m. on the dot, there's a knock on the door, and sure enough, I find Kai standing on the porch, his arm full of to-go bags from Moe's. In lieu of a greeting, he holds up bags like a peace offering. A little fucking chipmunk. Oh, hi, handsome. Jesus Christ, you really glowed up. It's just like, put down those cheekbones. You're going to hurt somebody.
When I got to this, when I was playing, I was like,
God damn.
the moonlight filtering through his hair, and he's like,
Oh, nice.
a cheeseburger, perhaps?
A cheeseburger from a lady? It's like, why? I don't care if I do. A way to a man's heart is a cheeseburger.
Punched in the face is what it looks like.
I think Adam's jealous.
Nah,
I wasn't sure what you'd like, so I got a bit of everything. I love how he's giving the blue steel. Like, it's like, Kai, I found your Tamagotchi in high school. No, stop. As Kai and I spread out the food on our coffee table, I can't help but smile at the variety. He opens a container of fries to share.
Oh, do you want the hero?
Chicken fingies?
Ooh, chicken fingies.
Oh, cheeseburger or chicken fingers?
Ooh, cheeseburger.
The cheeseburger calls to me and I pluck it from the bag. Nothing better than a classic burger. Thanks for grabbing dinner.
That's why
And Kai's cheeks puffed out like a chipmunk.
I was thinking you had just like shoved the cheeseburger in your mouth.
Thank you. Shove my head in the bag. Kai just shrugs and reaches for his own meal. We settle onto the couch. Our styrofoam containers in our laps. For a moment, the only sounds are the crinkling of wrappers and the appreciative hums as we eat. It's nice sharing a meal with Kai like this. Familiar and comforting in a way I didn't realize I needed. If my high school self could only see me now, I wouldn't believe it. We must have laughed aloud because Kai shoots me an odd look over his foil wrapper.
What?
Sorry, I was just thinking about how we hated each other back in high school.
You mean you hated how I was always one step ahead of you?
Please. I seem to remember beating you out for valedictorian.
Goddamn, we were valedictorian and the editor-in-chief.
Co-editor-in-chief.
Co-editor-in-chief of the fucking school newspaper. Jesus Christ. It was rigged.
Sure it was. I roll my eyes, but I'm smiling too.
Which is first, salutatorian or valedictorian?
Val.
So he could have been salutatorian.
I know. Probably was.
I remember how the school newspaper couldn't wait to be rid of us. We were always trying to dig up the next big story.
Like that time you were convinced there was a ring of students selling test keys for final exams under the bleachers. Kai sighs and shakes his head.
I spent weeks trying to get Kenneth to trust me. I was so close, too.
He must notice my skeptical look because he looks offended.
Hey, I had a legitimate lead. The key conspiracy was my first big expose.
More like conjecture and hearsay.
Hey, I got my front page expose eventually.
After the great mascot scandal, if I recall. No story you wrote could ever top my piece senior year, though.
Oh, really? And what groundbreaking investigative journalism would you be referring to there? Bob Woodward?
I'm guessing that's a journalist reference.
We're not.
I'm a dumbass,
We're
so
not
I have
into
no
that.
fucking clue.
If you were to bring up, like, fantasy authors, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that motherfucker?
I lean back, folding my arms across my chest.
No? Nothing?
My story about the football team. Kai's eyes widen. He lets out a low whistle.
Damn, I haven't thought about that in years.
Jesus Christ, a 10,000-yard stare. How could you forget? It was a scandal of a century. Well, the scandal of Neptune High's century, at least.
I still can't believe you managed to catch them in the act.
Yep. Exposed the football team's hazing rituals and got half the variety squad suspended.
Varsity.
Half variety.
Half the variety. Show was canceled.
It's all mediocrity from here on out, baby. The varsity squad suspended. I pop a fry in my mouth. That story won me a Courage in Student Journalism Award.
And you know Gideon had just like a photo of that.
That's my baby boy!
And like Morgan holding the award. And it's like on Gideon's like wall in his living room.
And of course, it's like a big blown up picture of him making the dumbest face because he caught it in mid sneeze. And he's like... But it's the only one that came out good. The rest of them are blurry and like have fingers in the lens frame in the shot.
Because Gideon's bad at taking photos.
That's my baby boy.
Oh, I remember that part. Pretty sure that's why you got valedictorian.
Hey. Pretty sure it was my higher GPA.
We had the same GPA.
I shrug, but I can't help the swell of pride in my chest. What can I say? I just have a nose for a better story.
And the guts to chase it. I was so jealous when your article made the front page. I thought for sure I'd scoop you on that one.
In your dreams, Takata. I had an inside source. One of the football players felt guilty. Kai's eyes narrow playfully.
An inside source, huh? Don't you mean you dated one of the football players?
I throw a french fry at him, which he deftly catches and pops in his mouth. Oh, flirtatious french fry. What? No, I would never. I have standards.
And practices.
And I'm pretty sure Wyatt Archer didn't feel guilty. He just wanted to get in your pants. Wyatt Archer, by the way, if you remember,
Was he that cop?
he's that blonde-haired, blue-eyed
Hey.
sheriff deputy, not even a cop. And his mom is the mayor of the town.
It's like, hey, Morgan.
He's Blue Steel from part 1.
He's all blue steel.
So, like, I don't trust the shit.
He's dumb enough to I trust him.
No, I don't.
Oh, he's dumb enough to be manipulated, so.
Yeah, he's dumb enough to be manipulated is what's going through my brain.
What? Wyatt? He did not. Are we thinking of the same guy?
Tall, blonde, blue eyes. Half the student body wanted to date him. The other half wanted to be him.
Well, I guess I was the odd one out.
If you say so.
Oh, Kai's so jelly belly. Look at him. Look at those little cheeks. Ah! Okay, I'm done. Which one did you want to be? Be him or date him? He just rolls his eyes, instantly hitting me with something I never thought he'd say.
You know, I always admired your tenacity. The way you never back down from a challenge or a story.
I feel a blush creep up my neck at the unexpected compliment. Thanks, Kai. That means a lot.
I like that we get a blushy Sprite too. That feels good.
It's strange thinking back on those days. It feels like a lifetime ago. We were so young, so driven. Everything was a competition between us, from grades to extracurriculars. I never would have admitted to it then, but I always admire Kai's dedication too, his passion. He pushed me to be better, to work harder. And
True
now,
rivals to lovers, baby.
yes, and now here we are. Life is a funny way of working out sometimes. We thought we were such hotshot journalists then. He laughs and shakes his head.
Imagine what stories we could have shaken to loose together.
What, Kai?
Oh no, I can guarantee you that Kaito is down.
I know he is, but
atrocious.
I'm not sure he understood what he said just then.
Oh no, he knew.
Oh, you little slut. You little scamp. You little scamp. From the sounds of it, you're a hotshot journalist in L.A. L.A. Chronicle? That's a big deal. Kai shrugs, but there's a tightness around his eyes that wasn't there before.
It was a great opportunity, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
I tilt my head, studying him. What do you mean? Kai sighs, letting down his container.
The hours were insane. I was working 60 or 70 hours a week, and the pressure to constantly churn out hard-hitting stories was intense.
He runs a hand through his hair, opening and closing his mouth like he isn't sure if he should say more.
I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't eat. Nothing I used to care about mattered anymore. I was a mess, if I'm being honest.
I feel my heart clench at Kai's admission, and how familiar it sounds.
40 hours is a full week, right?
Yeah. Kai. I reach out, placing a hand on his. And Kai fucking combusts. I don't know what else to say. He gives me a tight smile.
It's okay. I didn't really tell anyone at the time. I was ashamed, I guess. Felt like I was failing. I was eventually diagnosed with depression. Still, it took a while for me to accept it. Logically, I know it wasn't a personal failing. It's an illness like any other, but it's hard not to feel like I should have been stronger somehow.
He takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly.
Anyway, it got bad enough that I had to take a leave of absence from work, and when I did, I realized I didn't want to go back.
I squeeze his hand gently, encouraging him to continue.
So I quit, packed up my life in LA and moved back here. Figured a slower pace would be good for me.
And has it been good for you?
It has. I mean, don't get me wrong, running a small town paper comes with its own set of headaches, but I feel settled in a way I never did in the city.
I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah, it was rough at first. I went to therapy, got on medication. It helped, but I realized I couldn't go back to that life.
I nod, understanding all too well. So you don't regret coming back home to Twin Coves?
I don't. I needed a change of pace, and the paper needed a new editor-in-chief.
Kai's gaze drifts to the window, out to the view of the beach behind Gideon's cottage.
Cottage? Woof. And being back here, I felt like I can breathe again. I feel like I can breathe again. Sometimes you have to get everything you ever thought you wanted to realize what it is you truly want.
He gives me a look I can't decipher. He's probably hoping I'll open up, spill my guts about why I came back to Twin Coves myself. But I just can't. Not yet.
I think he's trying to admit he has a crush on you, but it's really bad time. But he knows it's bad time. He's like, oh, Gideon, if Gideon hadn't died, I would be admitting to you that I have had feelings for you since we were in high school.
We both fall quiet after that. I'm not sure what else there is to say. I think we both feel a little raw. For a few minutes, the only sound of the crinkling of wrappers and the occasional appreciative hum. Is that a veggie wrap? I nod to the half-eaten tortilla in Kai's hand. I figured I should have something healthy.
Sorry, bitch. I figured I should have something healthy to balance out the fries.
So the rumors are true? He looks up mid-bite, eyes wide.
Ma? That you're no, this is...
Bitch?
Bitch?
Bitch? That you're a fitness buff now? Jogging all hours of the morning, lifting weights at the beach, eating veggie wraps when there are perfectly good burgers, calling your name?
Are you imagining him lifting weights shirtless at the beach, Ashlee?
No. He laughs.
And where did you hear these rumors?
Around. I still hear the gossip, even in Seattle. Kai Takata is Twin Coves' #1 hottest bachelor. Kai chokes on his veggie wrap, and I jump to give his back a few slaps as he chugs some water. Sorry, I didn't think you'd... And then Kai does something new. His face turns bright red all the way up to his ears.
I'm not the hottest bachelor.
I like to think he's like, I'm not the hottest bachelor.
I mean, Kai is the hottest bachelor RMC.
We're gonna give Kai an uwu. He's having uwus. I think that's up to the town to decide.
I personally think that if Gideon was still alive and we started dating Kai, Gideon and Kai's mom would just be high-fiving each other in the background. Like, I'm pretty sure both of them knew when those two were in high school, like...
They're already, like, preparing their wedding.
They're like, are we thinking a spring or a fall? What?
It's like, who are you going to invite? I don't know. Who are you going to invite? Well, how many people are we going to fly in? We need to start saving now for this.
Yeah, they're just going to find, like, a fucking treasure chest for, like, we've been saving.
Like, oh my god. We just said we were dating. Like, I know. We've got you a castle.
They're like, we weren't putting money into our 401k.
Oh
we
my
were putting
god.
it into the wedding fund.
His face says he wants to argue the point some more, but he sighs and takes another sip of water.
I just figured if I keep my body healthy, it would help do the same for my mind.
You sound very LA right now. He shrugs.
Maybe, but it's working well for me so far. You know what? You get that serotonin, honey.
You get it. I'll say. I give an exaggerated sweep of his body along with an eyebrow waggle for good measure, so he knows I'm just joking with him. I didn't think it was possible, but Kai's blush only deepens. He still manages to shoot me a reproachful glare.
Morgan.
Kai. He sets his water aside, clearing his throat as he runs his hands down his jean-clad thighs.
Listen, Morgan. I'm sorry for ambushing you after the funeral like that. It was extremely insensitive of me.
I set my own container of food down, turning to grab a pillow from the couch to hold in my lap. A little feather-filled shield. We had to talk about Gideon eventually. It is why Kai is here.
I'd been harboring suspicions since I heard the news, and after I found some real evidence, I was worried about you. I just had this single-minded focus on making sure you knew so that you could protect yourself. I didn't know who or why, but I just kept thinking Morgan could be in danger.
It's all right. Really. I know you meant well. He looked relieved.
Still, I wish I could find a way to undo it. Wait for a better time.
Is that what all the food is for? A peace offering? His lips quirk into a self-deprecatory smile.
Maybe.
I steel myself for the next question, squeezing my pillow tighter. And what did you find about Gideon's death?
I've been looking into it more. Gideon's accident. The more I dig, the more convinced I am that it wasn't an accident at all.
What have you found? Kai takes a deep breath.
I started by looking at the police report. The official story is that Gideon suffered a heart attack while driving and lost control of the vehicle. But there are a few things that didn't add up. First of all, according to the autopsy...
He pauses, giving me an assessing stare.
Are you sure you want to hear this?
I need to.
According to the autopsy, he sustained some major injuries, broken bones, lacerations. But the thing is, the car wasn't even that badly damaged. Just a few scrapes and dents. Nothing that would indicate a high-speed crash.
Kai shakes his head.
It's almost like the car was barely moving when it left the road. I think Gideon was murdered, and that it was all staged to look like a car accident.
I let out a shaky breath, my heart pounding in my ears. But why? Kai reaches out, giving my hand a gentle squeeze.
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. For you, and for Gideon.
I give him a watery smile, and Kai returns it, his eyes warm and sincere.
Ashlee, drop a save real quick. I have a sense we're ending soon, and if we're going to play the full game, we might want to have a load. You don't have to do this alone, Morgan. I'm here for you. Whatever you need.
A maid was found dead at the Ivy house today. The words spill out before I can think better of it.
What? When? How do you know?
I was there when they were loading the body into the ambulance. Kai's eyes widen.
Shit, Morgan, are you okay?
I ignore the question. The story the sheriff's department is going with is she fell while hiking.
And?
According to a source, her body looked more like it had been attacked.
Attacked by a person or an animal?
Werewolf might have been mentioned.
And who was this source? I'll let you make this decision.
He's gonna be our chosen being. We need to be...
Okay, we can tell him everything.
Wyatt Archer. He gives me a look, but says nothing. Whatever happened, it wasn't just a fall.
Shit.
Yeah, shit is about right. We sit in silence for a moment, absorbing what this could all mean.
So, do you have any leads?
I stare up at him, but Kai just shoots me a lopsided smile.
Come on, Cooper. I know you. You surely have scrounged up something more than some info from a second-hand source by now.
Well...
Tell him about the keys.
Baby can know everything. I found a keychain with a few keys. I reach over to my jacket and fish them from the pocket, then I hand them over. He turns the keys this way and that, examining them before returning them to me. But I think this recent murder is connected to what is happening to me in Seattle 7 months ago.
What did happen in Seattle? I mean, if you're up for talking about it.
I take a deep breath. It's a long story. I touch the scar that runs along my hairline. Honestly, I don't remember everything. I was diagnosed with retrograde amnesia at the hospital. Doctors said there's a chance my memories will come back, but there's no way to be sure. I'm not sure if I want them to come back. Kai's still touching my hand, his thumb brushing over the raised ridges on my knuckles.
If you ever want to talk, I'm here.
I nod. He leans in a little closer, giving my hand another gentle squeeze.
We'll figure this out, Morgan, together.
I like to think like he's having like little issues because he's not trying to knock over the food.
He's like, oh, my veggie wrap.
Like crab scooching on the couch, like trying to adjust his butt. And yeah, it's hilarious.
This is the most romantic scene in this demo so far.
For the briefest moment, I have the complete insane thought that Kai is going to kiss me. And I would have let him. Oh, shit. To be continued.
Okay, save over our last save right here.
Save over it?
Yeah.
Bam.
And that was the second half of Twin Coves. Let's be real, it lasted longer because we were getting a real nostalgic.
Yeah, we just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
We
still ended early.
Yeah, but we didn't end at like 7:30.
Yeah, we were, we were creating content.
And
Squishing some chipmunk cheeks.
listen,
When's this game drop? I kind of want to...
that's a great question. Because, like, every time Wisteria Game updates, like, how the writing's going, they're like, so I added another 100,000 words.
Wisteria, you need to finish your game so I can read it to you.
So that's the thing, right? Like, they're like, originally... Okay, before the Kickstarter, it was like 6 love interests, maybe 7. And then we got Damien and Rook. They were extra. We got enough money in the Kickstarter to add Damien and Rook. So it would have been 7 originally. Because then Damien and Rook made... No.
Would it be easier for them if they just did chapters?
I don't remember how they're gonna let it out.
Because that way it'll give Wisteria time to... Like, they don't have to worry so much about, I need to get the whole thing done.
I think they're gonna... I think there's gonna be a common route. And then it branches off into the 4 mystery routes. So they might do 1 mystery route at a time. And each mystery route is like 2 or 3 romances.
Yeah, Dusk route, Dead of Night route, Midwinter Night route, Dawn route.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Ichio, for not doing what I wanted. Yeah, so Damien and Rook, who are not on screen right now, we raised enough money in the Kickstarter that we got Damien and Rook added to the game, which also made 2 poly routes. Damien and Eli and Rook and Ren. Also, so you were going over like the names of each mystery route.
Yeah.
They're sort of mostly broken up by species.
Mm-hmm.
Like one's humans.
Yeah.
One's werewolves. One's vampires. One's fae.
Yeah.
And Misha was just added like a couple months ago. Wisteria Games started just like,
what if we added this cute boy?
What if, this NPC I had who's like really cute and shows up a lot in Xander's route?
What if he was an option?
Because everyone was like, what if we could kiss him? And Wisteria was like,
what if we could kiss him?
What if we could kiss him? Do you want to date a vampire rock star?
Be real with me. How much screen time is Norma going to get?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Wisteria. I'm not saying I want Norma to be a romanceable character. I'm just saying I would love to read more of her lines in her voice that I've chosen for her.
God, if we could get a fan dub.
Darling, would you like some pancakes?
If we could get a fan dub together, you would have to play Norma.
Oh, God.
I'll be right with you, darling. Need some orange juice. God.
I love Norma.
I love this game so much.
Oxygen kid, I didn't want to know. I can't quit.
It's just, but yeah, I've, ooh, do I want to say this part?
All right, hold on. Let me mute the mics, you heathen.
So, God, when I first played this game, it was definitely pre-2022, like definitely, like I think I played the first demo 2021 maybe,
Mhm.
and I have gone through some severe life experiences, and like now, the Twin Coves hits a little harder.
Yeah, you definitely got some experience there.
Yeah, and it's like fuck.
Nobody got shot.
Nobody got shot. Nobody got shot.
Stop looking off in the middle distance. Or you're just distracted by shiny colors. Never mind.
I'm just distracted. Yeah, I'm distracted by piracy. But yeah, I don't know. There is just this level of hits harder, and like what's really shocking to me is that like meeting Eli, like, cause I know Eli from the Tumblr page. I know that like his hugs are so like he gives the sort of hugs that occasionally will lift you off your feet, but like meeting him in game, I'm like, who is this bitch?
I don't like this man. I still don't get why you like Cassidy.
I just want to know Cassidy's reasoning. Maybe it's also because I subscribe to the Patreon and know that every romance interest has secrets, and I want to know Cassidy's reason for leaving us. Because I don't think it was just, oopsie daisy, I'm done dating you. Also, in the original demo, he was looking for his missing mother, and I don't know if that's going to come up in this.
Oh, okay.
Like, his mom just goes missing sometimes.
Oh, that's nice. It's just like he kind of goes missing sometimes, but at least tells you first. Like, hey, I'm not going to be around.
Well, like,
Don't freak out.
part of it is, well, he grew up with that, and then part of it is also probably, did he have to look out for his little brother? Did something happen with his little brother? And, like, obviously, we didn't know Seamus when we first saw him in game.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, did something happen to Seamus? Because Seamus looked in what, this, like, 18, maybe in his early 20s?
Mm-hmm.
7 years ago, he might have been in high school. Like, if his
wee babe.
and, like, if his mom just dropped off the planet, he might have had to go do something with Seamus. And if he felt like he didn't know if he should bring it up or if it was like a really quick thing and he had to leave that night, that's also a possibility. So I want to know. Also, I like all the characters in this game.
Yeah.
I have enough versions of MC that I've created a family tree that they're all siblings. And there's, I think, 4 of them this point in my little personal, like, headcanon. Each of them has an M name because I will not leave MC alone. I love it so much. And, like, but it does make me think about, you know, MC's mom, who's a single mother working at a diner trying to raise, in this game, a child. But then, like, in my headcanon, she had, like, 4 kids, at least 1 set of twins.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Now, how did you find out about this game initially?
I did mention that. I was just farting around in a Discord, talking to people about a different, not visual novel, an interactive fiction, which, like, umbrella term-wise is the same thing, but it's like a choose-your-own-adventure sort of thing. Think visual novel, no visuals, but you can make your own choices and create your own characters.
Okay.
I was in a Discord for that, and, like, one of the other members of the Discord was like, hey, I just saw this Kickstarter, and it was a picture of Azrael. I love Azrael.
She
He's
loves
my
She loves
favorite.
the Asriel.
I love him. I just.
Everything about him, you just love
Okay,
it.
let me put it to you guys this way.
Okay.
When I was very young, when I had stepbrothers, God, I would have been like 12, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
They put on a movie in like my dad's living room in the trailer he was living in at the time. And it
People
was
with trailers. Don't need to denigrate.
Would Dad's trailer have been technically a double wide?
I don't fucking know.
I think so. There was enough room
Anyway,
for...
you're hyper fixating on the trailer. What is the movie you were watching?
So, and the movie was I almost said Jim Carrey. Wow, that's incorrect. Jim Henson's Labyrinth. That, and like a few months after I watched that movie, I was given half of the original Spiderwick Chronicles by my dad. And so both of those things have to do with fairy stuff. And it was just my whole life. If there's a book...
Is that why you got so obsessed with fairies?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's it.
Okay. We can blame David Bowie for Megan's obsession with the fairies.
Thank
It
you.
checks and tracks.
And Jim Henson.
Yes.
Um...
We can all hail the
And
Goblin
Holly
King.
Black, Spiderwick Chronicles was so good, but it was so hard finding the final 2 books of the first part of that series. Like, it was a nightmare. It wasn't until after I was, like, out of college that I found the last 2 of the first series. And the second series had already come out.
Wow.
But, like, there were just these little hardcover books with the most gorgeous illustrations. And I love them. And it's just, if there's, like, a book with fairies in it, and I'm like, I'm here. And that has been a very hard part of my life because I am very particular. Like if fairies are like, oh, they're based off angels. No. Not. I don't play that game. The Fae folk come from Irish mythology. And I don't... Like, there are some times when there's like Fae mythology and you work with it a little weird, that I'm like, this is an interesting take and I'll accept it. Like if they have, this is going to sound very weird, if they work off Tinkerbell rules where you have to believe in them and that's where they get their power from, that's like a weird take. But I did read a series with that. I did have to stop it, despite how much I mostly like the world building, because the main character had my name. And the main love interest had my sister's name.
Oh, God, I remember that. You're like, I can't read this anymore.
Like, I can't! There's just like a character named Ash telling a character named Megan how much they deeply love them. And I'm like, ah! And then they have like a kid together and I'm like, ah!
Self-voicing enabled.
Pretty much.
Self-voicing disabled.
But it was I loved it so much. I just can't. I might be able to read the sequel series because they're not really in it that much. But their son is in it.
That's Spiderwick, or is that a different series?
That would be the Iron Fae series by Julie Kagawa.
Okay.
It is a great series if you want to read it. I just unfortunately had the same name. I think it might have also been the same spelling.
Which is really fucking unfortunate. Did they have the same spelling for my name as well?
That character's name was just Ash.
Okay.
But that is kind of your nickname. Occasionally.
Sorry about that.
Like, ooh. Oh. And the other option, which personally, like, I get it. You want to go with the unseelie prince with the black hair and gray eyes. I had to think. Each prince's name matched their eye color. One was sage and he had green eyes. Ash had silver eyes. And I don't remember what the other brother's eye color was. Might have been black.
You're hyperfixating again. Carry on.
Another good Fae series, also by Holly Black, is The Folk of Air and... Ooh, I don't remember the whole name of it. But it's very good. It starts off with the... Oh my god. I should know this. considering how formative this series is to my life. Holly Black.
Folk of the Air trilogy.
Yeah, the Folk of the Air.
How the King of the Elflame.
The
Learned to
Modern
hate-
Tales of Fairy was how, as I got older, I started reading more Holly Black books. Darkest Part of the Forest fucked me up. Like, it's one of those books where for a long time I didn't want to tell people about it because it felt so deeply personal when I read it. I am pretty far behind.
And that's a standalone from the Modern Fairy trilogy.
Yes. But I haven't read The Cruel Prince forward.
So it's the Modern Fairy trilogy, Folk of the Air trilogy, and there's a couple standalones, and
There's a novella and a
this-
duology.
Stolen Air duology. Lots of books.
Lots of books. I have read 4 of them. And I have The Cruel Prince. I just don't have the rest of them. Ties was really one of those, like, formative novels. It was also the first just silver-haired, silver-eyed elf man.
Tithe is the first book in the
Yes.
Modern Fairy Tale series by Holly
Modern
Black.
Tales of Fairy.
Modern Tales of Fairy series by Holly Black. Do you have any other commentary about the game that you would like to discuss?
Oh, I like it a lot. I'm going to play every route. Personally, I'm going to play every route. We're going to play the, is it the Dawn route? Is the human one? Whichever one
Yeah.
the human one is.
I believe it's the Dawn route.
That's what we're going to play on stream.
Dormant sounds like an ingredient for some kind of magic potion.
Okay, last
Dawn
tangent,
route.
I swear. In Valiant, which is the second book in the Modern Tales of Fairy, which does not have the same characters as Tithe. One of the characters is a Fey alchemist, and he needed something like, to put in an alchemy potion, he needed, like, a lover's kiss, and it was, like, a lipstick kiss on a napkin,
Okay.
and I thought that was very interesting, and, like, one of them was, like, the dreams of a child, and it was just, like, eye dust from a child that someone had gotten.
Weird. Okay.
I mean, like, if you have a younger sibling and you're really pressed and need something from the Fae, you're just like, put their eye dust in a little container. That was weird. I will say that those books can be, I would say, 15 plus for those books. Not
Are
because
you talking about age range?
age range, yeah. I would say, because they do get a little violent. Drugs are involved.
God, that reminds me of the one Demon Possession series that I was into. I had the one book that I got, and it was
Oh my god.
it was super good for the first couple of chapters,
And then it just got
and
weird.
then rewinded time, and then it was like all milquetoast. I'm like, it was super violent and grotesque with body horror. I'm like, ooh, yeah, let's go. And it is a dream. And now you're a YA bullshit novel. What happened to
Hey.
the book I read in the first?
Hey, I just told you about a YA novel that had violence.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the weird demon one that I found back in like 2006.
Yeah, YA. It's basically what I'm saying is my obsession with Fae is why we played The Good People. My obsession with Fae
Mm-hmm.
and like Irish folklore. Like I actually have like a textbook on Irish folklore at home. Twin Coves, Fae. It's just like the number one way to get my ass sucked into something. It's like, would you like a Fae? They
Would you
speak
partake in a
Gaelic,
parfait?
and I'll be like, yes, thank you.
I
What
will have 5
flav-
of these.
What flavor of Fae am I getting? Because I will return it if you're doing like real weird shit with it, like putting in like.
I know Guillermo del Toro fan.
You're right.
Oh no, Guillermo del Toro Fae can stay. Like that sort of weird shit's good. I mean, like,
Pan's Labyrinth,
There-
the Tooth Fairies from Hellboy 2.
yeah, that's great. Love it.
Control Bridge.
Chef's kiss. What I'm saying is like there was once a book I read where the Seelie Fae were angels and the Unseelie were demons. Like literally, they had descended from angels and demons, and I was like,
There we go. We're gonna leave on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I hate it when you get Christianity in my paganism.
Yeah, just leave my nice. Ooh, like that's one of the reasons I love the good people so much.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know how much Fae we're getting. Like, I might know that perhaps when we do, if you play Rook's route, you might have a little bit more fairy. Like the fairy route in this game, you might actually get to go to fairy.
A little bit. Am I going to fairy? A little bit.
Honestly, I just want Ren to teach. Like, this is what I will teach Ren how to cook and bake. If Ren teaches me how to use a sword, I think that's an even exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ren a lot. As I said earlier with Eli, occasionally we'll pick you up if, like, with a hug, because he's big and strong and burly. He'll accidentally pick you up when he hugs you. Ren always does that. I love Ren. He is a cutie patootie.
But yeah, is that it? We're all done now?
I'm actually Stephanie Oren doing that. What secret last name did you call Oren?
We will talk about that when the stream's over.
Okay.
Okay, yes. I've gone off tangent enough.
Jesus Christ.
In my defense, I just went because I was out of town, and when I am out of town, I take my medication at a different time than when I'm in town, just because I hold myself to a different schedule. And I haven't recovered from that yet. I only just got back into town last night.
So she is extra spicy.
Oh, yeah.
Extra neurospicy for you, Daddy.
Oh, yeah. My brain is...
Bag of cats. A bag of wet cats. All right, we're leaving now.
Thank you.
Been
It's
pleasant
been great.
evening.
We will post the links to the Otome celebration on Steam if Steam's working now.
Yes.
And I will announce on Blue Sky what our next game is.
Mm-hmm. And also we'll announce on Blue Sky when the video is up for this. We'll
Yes.
just trim it down and take out the commercial stuff. But we're going to leave in the tangents for you because... Where
The
else are you gonna
tangents
get
are
a 20
half the battle.
Yeah, tangents are half the fucking battle. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But don't you need to know when Ask Jeeves came out?
Don't you need to know that you could have gotten anime at a Blockbuster? We're answering the hard-hitting questions. here
Ninja
at
Scroll of
Otome
all things.
O'Clock.
And you know they didn't rate it like... It was just like a 12-year-old could get Ninja Scroll.
Oh, sweet God. We're going into another tangent. I'm ending the stream. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.